Knicks family, what's poppin'? That was a tough one, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks drop the first game of their battle with the Atlanta Hawks, and they lose home court advantage. Maybe even more important. They lose home court advantage in this series, ladies and gentlemen. And the Knicks had no answers for Trey Young. No answers for Trey Young. Both teams started the night a little nervous, as expected, a little tentative, a little antsy. But the Hawks, they got a little bit more comfortable long before the Knicks did. They got comfortable. And although the Knicks were able to build a 7-point lead, they were never able to close the door on the Atlanta Hawks tonight. The Hawks built an 11-point lead in the first half. The Knicks battled back, and it was two-point lead for the Hawks at halftime. The Knicks finally took a lead in the third quarter. Went into the fourth quarter with a 2-point lead, though. They had a 7-point lead in the third quarter, went into the fourth with a 2-point lead. In the fourth quarter, the Knicks went up 5. They had chances to seal this game. Could never do it. And it was too much Trey Young in that fourth quarter, ladies and gentlemen. We had no answers for Trey Young tonight. And this is the issue with that screen and roll. This is the issue with Trey Young. It is the issue with Trey Young. Because when he comes off that screen and roll, he puts so much pressure on the defense with his ability to pass to the roller, to teardrop in a floater, to pull up a jump shot. It's tough to stop that guy. You got to be concerned if you're a Knicks fan, because we may not have an answer for that guy. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest with you. Not lying to you, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, Trey Young, he had 32 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds, almost a triple-double against the Knicks. He shot 47.8% from the field. 1 for 3 from the three-point line. Other contributors for the Atlanta Hawks, Bogdanovich, he had 18 points. 7 for 15 from the field. He had some big shots. Every time it seemed like the Knicks could extend their lead, Bogdanovich come up with a big three, knock it down. Lou Williams, he was critical to the Hawks in that third quarter. He kept the Hawks in the game. The Knicks went up 7, and Lou Williams kept the Hawks in the game. Kept them in the game. John Collins, 12 points, 7 rebounds. Clint Capella, 9 points, 13 rebounds. DeAndre Hunter had 5 points and 4 rebounds. For the New York Knicks, well, all the stars didn't come out for the Knicks tonight. Alec Burks led the way. Alec Burks almost won us that game single-handedly, ladies and gentlemen. In that fourth quarter, he had 27 points. He was 9 for 13 from the field, 3 for 5 from the three-point line. He had 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Derrick Rose, he had 17 points. He shot 50% from the field. He was 1 for 4 from the three-point line. He had 5 rebounds, 5 assists. RJ Barrett, he got hot in the second half, started playing some good basketball. As a matter of fact, he kind of got hot. He got hot in that third quarter. Had that monster dunk, and I've been waiting for RJ Barrett to rise up like he did on that play. Rose up, yammed it on somebody. Wasn't enough though. But he tied the game on that play. Big play from RJ Barrett. And RJ Barrett played well, I think. 14 points, 11 rebounds. He played well. He had some solid moments tonight. Julius Randle, he looked tight when he came out, started playing, and he played tight throughout the entire game. 15 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists. But we got to have a better performance from Julius Randle on the offensive side of the ball, man. He looked tight, played tight, looked kind of tentative. There's some things there that I saw that they did that I'm worried about, because you know who did the same thing that I saw tonight? The San Antonio Spurs, the first time that we played the San Antonio Spurs. And I'll explain what it is a little bit later on as we get into talking about this game. Manuel quickly has some big plays, 10 points. 2 for 2 from the three-point line, 4 for 7 from the field. And Obi Toppin had some big plays in the first half. He gave some really good minutes. This is a tough one. Makes the task very difficult. Very difficult. And if the Knicks are going to win this game, win this series, I'm going to tell you what, and I hate to say it, but the next game, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, in my opinion, and people can say, Sim, you're wilding, you're bugging, whatever you want to say. But in my opinion, the next game is a must win. If the Knicks don't win game 2, this series is done, in my opinion. I'm sorry. I'm telling you that right now. They got to win game 2. They have to win it. And then they got to steal one in Atlanta. To me, it is critical to win game 2. It's critical to win game 2. Got Josh here with me. And we're going to talk about this thing, man, and break it down a little bit. It's a tough one, Uncle Fulio. It's a super tough one, man. Super tough one. Let's go ahead and let's get this rocking. Uncle Fulio, what's popping with you, brother? We dropped the first one. And, yeah, that's, it was tough, my brother. Talk to me, man. What do we got to do? What's up? What's going on?
Wow, what a game. Wow, close game to the end. The Knicks ups and downs. Knicks take the lead. Atlanta takes the lead, back and forth. And definitely the crowd was rocking in there tonight. Good to see, atmosphere like that. That's definitely a home court advantage. But there's definitely some things we definitely got to work on and improve against Atlanta if we're going to pull this series out. I like the fact that we fought. We were down, a lot of times in the first half, but we fought to make the game close. That bench scoring, quickly and Burks off the bench, phenomenal job from those guys off the bench. But really, it comes down to us being able to stop the pick and roll. And Trey Young was getting in the paint pretty much anytime we wanted to, and they were just making cross-court passes, and it just was an ugly defensive game from us tonight. And Randle, what's up, bro? You got to show up, Randle. I'm sorry that you can't go 6 for 23. You got to put the ball in the hole. I'm sorry about that. I know it's your first playoff game and all that stuff, but you got to be able to show up. Point blank, plain and simple. And even with that, the Knicks still almost pulled this game out. So I'm not really worried. I think we'll be okay for the rest of the series. But like you said, game 2 is a must win. Sure.
It's a must win. It's a big time must win, in my opinion. There's no two ways about it, ladies and gentlemen. It is a big time must win. You see right there. You see it on your screen right now. The percentages from the game. The Knicks lose it 107-105. You know that. We dominated the glass 61-45. We had 21 assists. They had 17. 3 steals for the Knicks, 4 blocks for the Knicks, 6 steals for the Hawks, 7 blocks for the Hawks. The Knicks had 11 turnovers. Knicks shot 44% from the field, 46.7% from the field from the Hawks. Knicks only shot 33% from 3. They only shot 73% from the free throw line, but they barely got to the line. Right? Neither team really started getting to the line until that fourth quarter. And it was, it's disappointing. It's definitely disappointing, ladies and gentlemen. There's no doubt about that. It's disappointing, but it's not something that we can't rebound from. But yes, game 2 is super duper critical. We just got to get it. We just can't. We got to get it. That really is the bottom line. There's no other two ways about it. We got to be able to pull that one out.
Yep.
Tough loss, man. Really tough loss. I'm gonna tell you one of the adjustment that I seen that the Hawks did to the Knicks or to Julius Randle that I think affected him, and San Antonio did the same thing. Right? They brought a double team, but it was a soft double team. A really soft double team. So they're coming. They see the guy coming, or Randle can see the guy coming, but he's not attacking aggressively. So now Randle gets caught in this kind of limbo world where he's trying to decide what to do because they're kind of in a quasi zone. And Randle's not exactly sure what to do with it. tomorrow I'm going to break down some film and I'm going to show you. I'm going to do a shoot around tomorrow and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. But this little quasi zone, they're going to have to figure that out. Randle's going to have to figure that out. You know, I think part of it confused them tonight. One of the questions that I had is whether or not the Atlanta Hawks were going to double team Randle. Well, they kind of quasi double teamed him. It worked tonight. Let me get to a phone call. Call you live. What's popping?
Yo, what up? Salute to y'all, man. Look, I just got to say one thing. Look, man, I don't know what's going on. I'm watching these games, and ever since Burke came back from safety protocols, and Burke's balled out today, but he not going to win you no game late down in the game to hit that shot, man. Why is he looking off Rose so much, man? Every time I see the game, this dude Rose wide open, and he looking him off. Like straight looking them off. Now that's gonna be an issue because if Rose don't get it going down the stretch on this team, the New York Knicks is gonna lose, man. I don't care if Burks go for 50. Burks can go for 50 and we gonna lose. Because the thing is, man, look here. The only player on that team that really been in the trenches with the as far as playoffs is Rose. And Ty Gibson. Mm-hmm. Burks had a nice game, man, but I didn't like what I was seeing from him, man. He looked off Rose on about 5 or 6, 7 plays, and if you don't have Rose down the stretch making those plays, because Rose makes them plays that kind of suck the life out of the team. Like he gets to the rim and down. Man, look here, that's all I had to say, man. Y'all look, Burks, he needs to start passing the ball to Rose, man. There's something wrong with him, man.
Well, I mean, he was hot today in the fourth quarter. He didn't make the last bucket that we needed, but he was scoring.
Take that bucket though. He don't take that shot though. If you notice, Burks he gets a rhythm and he'll shoot. But then when it get down to making that bucket, that last shot, he goes to Randle, and that's an issue because we see now Randle is not that guy to go to at the end of the game. So what needs to happen is somebody needs to tell everybody, look, man, end of the game, Burks, if you're not going to shoot it, get the ball to Rose. They got to create some synergy. I'm not saying Burks ain't no hooper. Burks went crazy. But the thing that I'm seeing that's causing this team to lose is Burks is not buying into having that two-man game with Rose. They have to get that going in order for them to be successful. That's all I got to say, y'all. Okay. Salute to y'all, though. Peace.
I appreciate you, my brother. I appreciate it. I mean, listen, I did have a question about, how Rose and Burks would play down the stretch together, because they didn't get a big chance to play together during the regular season down the stretch. I do believe that, look, Alec Burks had it going tonight. What else was you going to do? You had to let the man get his shots up and get buckets. He didn't convert that last one. I thought it was going down. He didn't hit it. But, we were he gave his buckets when Julius Randle, the guy that we needed to get his buckets, wasn't giving us buckets. I can't, you can't blame this on Burks. Caller, you live. What's popping?
What's going on, Sam?
Good, man.
You said at the beginning, how do we stop Young? I'm really, oh man.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a tough one to stop Trey Young because he's slippery off the screen and he has eyes everywhere. He knows. I mean, you seen off the screen, he come off the screen. The Knicks haven't covered well. R.J. Barrett is seeped in a little bit too much. He dips it over to Bogdanovich in the corner. He knocks it down. You know what I mean? That is the trouble with this guy.
Their offense, they were killing the threes. I mean, but that's something I would like to see more of from us, the Knicks. But otherwise, the game was cool. But the last play with Young, that was a big breakdown.
Yeah, well, I mean, that it's tough. I'll say this. It's hard to take a player, bring him off the bench who hasn't been playing for most of the game, and then Ntilikina played 30-something seconds. It's hard to bring him off cold and ask him to stop somebody. People can be mad at Frank Ntilikina all they want. That's hogwash to me because you can't bring – it's hard to bring somebody in cold and expect them to get a stop. It's tough to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's tough to do that. It really is. And one-on-one. I mean, he was straight one-on-one. What they did is they cleared him out. They cleared him out and said, hey, we're going to give it to you, Trey, to go. You know what I'm saying? They bring this guy in cold off the bench, and we're gonna, that's tough to do. That's a tough one.
That's true. I agree. For game 2, what kind of adjustments do we need to make? More offensively or defensively? My mindset is on offense. Because I can't get over the 3-point shooting in the first half with the Hawks, man.
And I think a lot of that 3-point shooting was because the Knicks were so concerned about that screen and roll, trying to stop that screen and roll and cut it off. And they did a decent job with the screen and roll. Of course, the Hawks still got some, a couple of oops off and a couple dunks off. But they were so concerned with it and sucking in that they left the 3-point shooters open. And this is the problem. Like right now, I got to really look at this game and figure out and think to myself, what do we do? Because it feels like it's almost impossible at this point in time because of what Trey Young can do with the ball. His ability to see the floor is just dangerous.
Yeah, oh, man.
And that's what makes that screen and roll so tough. He makes the screen and roll. There's a million players out there that can come off for the screen and roll. But when you got a guy like him who has vision like Trey Young and the ability to score, it makes it so much more tougher to stop that screen and roll. So, I don't know right now. I really got to look at it and see. I don't know.
And 2 quick things. Credit to Trey Young. His vision of the court is off the charts.
Yeah.
And first, this is my first time caller. Before I go to Sim, I just want to compliment you on your achievements in this new age of media. From what I've seen of other Knicks shows, for me, my brother, you are the gold standard, period.
I appreciate you, man.
You're so good to me. I expect Joe Peel to say, stay tuned for another but Knicks with Sim. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right. I appreciate you, my brother.
That you're an insider, just one short of Dolan, for real. You're so polished.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. It's tough, ladies and gentlemen. It's tough, ladies and gentlemen. We got some pain going on. I'm going to get back to the phone calls, but we got some pain going on here. Let's come over here, man. Let's get to our group chat. Let's talk about this, guys. It's therapy time. It's therapy time. We haven't felt like this in a long time, right? Because the Knicks have been winning basketball games. So let me get around, man. Take 30 seconds. Give me a quick perception of the game, and then we'll get into some deeper analysis. Big Bubba, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, son?
I'm good, brother. I'm good.
It was an issue that I've seen all the time. I've seen an issue with having Peyton, then going to Derrick Rose. You're making Trey Young comfortable. He was comfortable all game. The drive game was there. The rotations weren't there. You can shake your head, but it's true. Shaking your head, and the rotations don't being open plenty of times during this game. The defense it just wasn't there. Trey Young was just comfortable all night. And then, to have Frank, this isn't you just plug him in was just, to me, terrible coaching right there. But again, we're gonna have to figure out. We have 3 days to figure it out. So, yeah.
Eru, I'm gonna come to Eru. I'm not even gonna jump into that whole thing right there because that is not the reason that we lost this basketball game. Not even close to the reason we lost this basketball. No, I'm going to Eru. I'm going to Eru. If that's the only analysis that we have, that's ridiculous. Eru.
Now you said 30 seconds, bro. So I try to sum it up, but okay.
Eru.
Well, I don't want to start an argument, but Trey Young, he averaged 25 points a game. He only scored 30, man. So it's not like he was going crazy doing something other than he normally does. The whole game just basically went the way it should have went. Atlanta's going to come out. Knicks defense comes in. But one thing that was driving me crazy the whole game, because, I do have time to crunch time too, man. So I just finished doing that. So the whole game, I'm wondering what is wrong with Julius Randle. You know what I think it is? I think it's the crowd. I think the crowd got into Julius Randle's head some kind of way. And then, because, that 3-point shot that he took at the end of the game there, I'm like, what? You know, because it was like 20-something seconds left in the game, and he gets the ball and he just launches that 3-point. I'm like, whoa! Like, where did that come from? That looked like, that reminded me of. I'm like losing my stuff right now, man. That felt like Tim Hardaway Jr. It felt like every bad Knick that we've had like the last few years. Every time you look around, when it comes to the fourth quarter, nobody knows what to do. But Julius Randle, it felt like he regressed. He just turned back into Fizdale Randle in that one little thing. Thank God for freaking Taj Gibson to get the rebound, to get the ball back to Rose to keep us in the game, man. But I mean, I just felt like Julius Randle the whole game was shell shocked. He was just trying to figure out. He did hit that 3-pointer, that leaning 3-pointer, but everything else was just like, what were you like? What, I don't know what his thought process is with anything that he was doing tonight, man. So
I think he was a little shell shocked. I'm not gonna lie. I think he was a little bit shell shocked. Right, it's first time. I mean, look, I don't even know. When he was at Kentucky, and we'd have to look back, how many big games, tournament games, did he play at Kentucky? This is the biggest stage that he's ever been on. So, yes, he was shell-shocked. I think he was a little bit shell-shocked. We got to give him a chance. We got to give him a chance to get in and see. Listen, we've seen him have bad games and come back and have good games. Let's see if he can come back and have a good game. This is why you're in a 7-game series, right? When a 7-game series, so
it's definitely a series, you know. So I got to get everybody got to get their stuff together. You know what I'm saying? I got my little vices that I'm gonna take care of and get my nerves down to where it should be. But one thing before it starts going to everybody else, man. Him putting Frank Ntilikina in with 9 seconds left, if you look at the footage, I was losing my mind because that was the second that was the second time they put him in the game, and he still didn't even play 1 minute. You know, the first time he put him in, he only had put him in for 23 seconds, and then the second time he puts him in for 7 seconds. Like, what the hell? 30 seconds, he put him in the game twice, and he only played 30 seconds. What is the point of that? What is the point? There was no reason to bring Frank Ntilikina in the game to guard Trey Young at the end of the game. It makes no sense. I'm not saying that that's the reason why they lost, but it's just like, yo, you're supposed to be Tom Thibodeau, potential coach of the year and all this other stuff. Like, what were you thinking? There was nobody else in the coaching staff said, nah, man, I don't think we should put Frank Ntilikina in there. Because listen, I'm doing the show, the halftime, the crunch time, and then if I start right now, I haven't gotten up in almost 2 hours. So if I get up right now, I'm gonna be like, my legs. You know what I'm saying? So the same thing with the basketball players. Like if Frank gets up, he's like, you want me to come in the game? No. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like as a coach, man, like Sim, you're a coach. You know, a lot of us, we love basketball. You guys love basketball. You know what I'm saying? You play the game. You know what it is. Like, yo, he put him in the game twice, and he didn't even play one. He didn't even play 1 whole minute. Oh my God! I don't know what I'm gonna do tonight to get down from this, man.
I feel you, baby. I feel you. Take a breath.
I'm trying to be cute.
Hey, take a breath.
Look, I got a We Here hat. Look at that, man. Are you kidding me?
Take a breath, baby.
God,
the series ain't over yet. Take a breath. We still got.
I'm so sorry for ruining the show, man.
Baby.
I haven't been on in a while. I'm like losing my mind, bro.
Yeah, take a breath. Take a breath.
Let me hit the pump, man. Let me hit the pump one time.
Yeah, take a breath, baby.
We haven't even heard corners.
Jesus Christ.
Take a breath.
I'm sorry.
But look, I definitely agree that it was a bad decision to put Frank in at that point. Bad decision to put Frank in at that point. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't expect him to come in. Trey Young, who's been playing well the entire game, he's got his flow. He's making shots. You can't expect Frank Ntilikina to come in 9 seconds and be warm enough to get a stop. And I don't care if you're over there riding a bike or whatever you're doing. Your blood is not going to be flowing to get a stop there. That was just a bad decision in my opinion. I agree with you. Bad decision. And anybody out there, as soon as I came in, I seen stuff in the chat that say, oh, Frank Ntilikina ain't it. Frank Ntilikina can't do this, that, and the third. I think that's unfair. It's totally unfair. I'm sorry. Like him or not like him, be fair about it. It's unfair because you asked him to come in after sitting, an entire half and then get a defensive stop, to keep, make sure the game goes into overtime or get the ball back. I didn't think that was a good decision right there. Cornerstone.
Salute to the chat. Salute to our brothers on the panel. I'm going to make this short and sweet. I agree with everything that Isaiah said. Alfred Payton does not fit this team. He does not. And it's a bad look on Tibbs because he should have had Frank in there a long time ago.
Right. Look.
A long time ago.
Listen.
Hey, listen, hold up. And I can't believe I'm agreeing with Isaiah. I can't believe I'm agreeing with Isaiah.
Stop for a second, Kev.
I don't.
Stop for a second.
I'm
because
quiet.
stop
quiet.
for a second. Because if you are going to overlook Julius Randle not playing well. Stop and listen.
Him too, absolutely.
No, stop and listen.
I'm listening. I agree with you.
You're not.
As well.
You're not. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. We're not here to argue. We're here to have a show. So calm down. Okay, calm down.
You wanna hit my pump?
All right, because
all right, I'm calm.
If that's the only thing that you've seen on the basketball court is a player who played 10 minutes, and that's the reason that we lost, then you're not watching the basketball game for real. When no, let me finish what I'm saying. Stop cutting me off and let me finish. Or I'm going to just put it on mute. When Peyton went out in the first half, it was 6-5. And guess what happened? We went down double digits. Is it true? Go look at the play-by-play, and you will see if it's true. So whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? The score was 6-5. 6-5. And then we go down 11. We're down 1. He goes out the game. Then we go down 11. I'm not blaming anybody else that came in. What I'm saying is, do not try to point at one person. When he went out the game and only played 10 minutes and we were only down 1. He went out the game in the second half. We were down, 3? 3 points when he went out? And we end up losing the basketball game. We end up losing the basketball game after we went up 7 in the third quarter. And he wasn't even in there. I'm not saying the guy is good. What I'm saying is don't point at him. Just like I'm saying don't point at Frank. If you want to point somewhere, point at Randle. That's what I'm saying.
Can I say something?
I'm going to Savvy.
Can I say something?
I'm going to Savvy.
Oh, okay. You got your point off, I guess. Okay.
Yes, because it's my show and I can do that. Savvy, go ahead, bro.
Knicks family, what is poppin'? It's your boy. Okay. I just want to thank along. It's been a long time and I miss y'all. Okay. It's been a long. Kevin, you know what I mean? I love you, brother. I love you, Sim. I love you, Josh, Eru, and Zay. I want to say I love our New York Knicks. I'm rocking the Knicks shirt. You know what I mean? I was out of my mind acting a fool today in my living room. And I want to say that one little nugget of what Kevin said about putting Frank in earlier might be applicable, sure, if we want to just start there, you know what I'm saying? But not specifically, because my essential point is that we need someone who can stay in front of Trey Young. And by either athleticism or basketball IQ and anticipation of where he's going to go with the ball, we need to find the guy who can stay in front of Buddy, or we need to start trapping. Plain and simple. But like Eru said, he didn't do anything out of his mind tonight. He did what he always does. What we need to do is stop doing things like letting them get their offensive rebounds, right? Like we kind of started to do toward the second half, right? And we need to go into a strategy that allows us to take it away from Julius Randle having to be a hero. Not only that, but we need to actually try to start to do more transition work compared to what we did in the regular season, because I'm starting to find now that going so late into the shot clock is not always going to behoove us, because it seems like they're starting to clamp down a little bit better on defense than they were usually. But what I will say is I love the way the rookies played
Oh
today.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I
Very
love
true.
the fact that the rookies came out.
Yeah, they definitely played good.
They came to get their stripes tonight. And
Yeah.
that's why I'm not really that worried about what's going on right now. I figured there would be some jitters to work out. You know what I'm saying? I was hoping Julius Randle would get braided earlier because everybody who with braids knows the first 2 days you get braided and braids is tight.
That's his.
You know
That's
what I mean?
facts. Yeah.
You have to let a couple of days for them to loosen up and you get back to normal. But you know what I mean? That's a good thing about playing again on Wednesday rather than Tuesday. Okay, he has a couple of days and a trip. Well, actually, no, it's a home game again. It's not game 3. It's
Home game
two.
again.
So
It's home game.
he has a couple of days to chill, loosen them braids up, calm down, relax, come back and get it done. Because while we have seemingly no answer right now for Trey Young, guess what they got? No answer, provenly, for Julius Randle. Because what happened when we played them in the regular season?
Yeah,
That's all I'm
but
saying.
they had an answer tonight.
No more.
They had an answer tonight. They had an answer
I'm
tonight.
gonna tell you something. It might be worth putting in somebody who we don't need at the moment, just so they can go and bang up against Clint Capella, because that guy is trouble. He is trouble. And Bogdanovich was getting a bit too much of an attitude with my guy RJ. I'm glad he dunked on his head, all right, and got rid of that right there. Because I was like, yo, this guy's starting to get ahead of steam, man. We need to tell him to relax. So that was a good little third quarter. But all that happened tonight was we need to stay in front of Trey, because when we don't, we do stuff like tapping him in the back like Derrick Rose did at the end there and getting that foul drawn on us. We got a couple of fouls before that drawn on us. They shot more in the fourth quarter with free throws than they did in the entire game. And we need to not foul so much when he's baiting us.
Gonna be a nightmare.
When he's
let him
baiting us
finish.
into doing it in the first place, right? Because he killed us that entire stretch at the end there, and we couldn't score to stop the run. So, and Julius, man, I'm not worried. I'm not worried.
Hey, so can I say one thing?
He'll be all right.
First off, who the heck is this guy coming in here?
No, hold on. Go ahead, Isaiah.
So this is my continuing problem about when you do this about overpaying, right? Because here's the thing, right? You always say it's not one player, it's not one this. He only played 8 minutes, 10 minutes. But guess what, Sim? 8 minutes of nothing, that's BS. And again, right, we all know Julius Randle shot 6 for 24. I totally understand. I know Reggie Bullock didn't have his best game. I really get that. But again, you have a player who we all talk about his defense is not there. He's not a good defender. And he has to go out there for 8 minutes. You talked about him getting out the second half, him only playing 8 minutes. But Sim, you don't talk about that's more minutes on D Rose. That's more time he has to. If Payton doesn't play good, guess what? D Rose has to come in earlier and he has to play 30, 35, 36, 40 minutes. And he has to still guard Trey Young and try to score offense. So again, right, we could hold on.
So what difference does it make?
So what difference does it make? Because you're asking him to do that anyway.
Wait, hold on. Don't interrupt me, because I let you don't interrupt me. I'm saying you always talk about that, but again, that's a ripple effect of what goes on with the Knicks offense. That's why I said I'd rather have Frank start, because again, if he's giving us 8 minutes of nothing, no defense, first of all, in that second half, we was up. What did he do? He had a missed botch layup like he always does. Bad defense. Trey scored. It was like a 5-point swing, and they up by 3 when we had the lead. Again, all these things are effects.
Okay.
No,
okay.
but it's true.
You're going on about the same thing. I'm tired of talking about this.
Okay.
It's ridiculous. It's not changing. If he changes it, cool. It's not. It's been there. You keep going on about the same thing. It's there. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we had a 1-point lead. He missed the layup. Like a lot of people on the team missed layups. He missed the layup. They scored. He goes out. We're down 3.
But Sim, again, he plays 8 minutes. D Rose has to play more, and again, D Rose can't play all those minutes. He can't.
Bro,
I'm just saying,
bro,
it's true.
if
He can't.
But
You
check
gotta
it
use
out.
him effectively,
But guess what?
again,
But guess what?
He's not able to do that because Payton can't play.
Cool. Listen. If he does not play, Derrick Rose is still going to play all of those minutes. You're not understanding that. He's still going to play minutes. That is not the reason we lost the game. It is not the reason. And if that's the only reason that you think we lost this basketball game, then you're not watching it. That is my point.
But Sim, why are we getting off to slow starts whenever he's in the game?
Bro, 6-5 is a slow start.
Every time he's in the game.
Anyway. Let me get to a phone call here. Let me get to a phone call. Caller, you're live. What's popping?
How you doing?
I'm good, brother. How you feeling?
I'm good. I hear what I hear.
You breaking up on me, bro. You breaking up on me. Let me get you another call. Caller, you live. What's popping? And let me just say, when you call in, please make sure that you're talking with with phones in and with good service, because if you're breaking up, I gotta let you rock. Caller, you live. What's popping?
Sim, one quick comment, or maybe it's a question. If you got so much confidence in Frank to stop Trey Young and crunch time, why can't he get on the court all game? I mean, the guy's killing us all game.
That's a good question. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. You know what? I cannot defend Tom Thibodeau on that move because I don't think it's a good move. I didn't think it was a good move.
I can answer that.
I mean, I'm not even saying he's wrong or right for putting him in the game at that point. My question is, if you believe he could stop Trey Young at that point, why can't he stop him at any other point during the game?
That's a big point, man.
Say that again. I'm sorry, I missed you.
No, I'm saying if you so much believe that Trey Young could stop Trey Young at that point of the game, why can't he stop him at any other point of the game? Why he doesn't get off the bench at any other point?
I don't know. And we'll see
madness.
We'll see if he decides to, he brought him in at the end of the first half, to see if he can get a stop. I mean, I agree. If you want to try to get him in, if you figure I'm going to put him in at the end of the game, at some point throughout the game, you should put him in. More than just the last few seconds. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I feel you, brother.
Man.
I feel you, brother.
But I'm still totally confident in the Knicks because with the horrible game that Julius Randle had, we still almost beat him.
Yeah,
Julius
that's
Randle
true.
had a horrible game.
My only fear is that, and we'll see, right? You can't go by just tonight's game, right? You got to see if they can do it again. But did they find something that works? Because I felt like the San Antonio Spurs, the first time we played them, found something that worked against Julius Randle, that quasi-zone, quasi-double team. Gives him a look where he's not sure where to go with the ball, and I think it makes him tentative. Obviously, still, you had the whole crowd, not the crowd, but you had, I'm sure the crowd was part of it, but, the whole playoff atmosphere that maybe had him a little shell-shocked.
Yeah, I think that had a lot to do with it because if I didn't see them do too much that really stopped Julius Randle. He just missed a bunch of open shots. There was a couple of times that he was open on the top at the 3-point line and would not even take the shot.
Yeah.
I think it was a confident thing with Julius Randle tonight.
Yeah. We'll see if he can bounce back. Hey, I appreciate your time, man. Appreciate the call.
Thanks for taking my call, Tim.
Thank you.
For taking my call.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel. Ring that notification bell so you'll be notified whenever we go live. And I want to respond to some people in the chat, too. You know what I'm saying? I could care less about Elfrid Payton, to be honest with you. I don't know the guy. I don't know his family. I don't know anything about him. All I know is that he plays for the New York Knicks. But I expect and want more than something that we've been arguing about the same thing for the entire year when really it was fruitless in this basketball game. We had a 7-point lead and the guy never played. He never touched the floor again. Fruitless. in this basketball game. You know what I'm saying? He had a 7-point lead, and we had a 7-point lead. We had a 5-point lead in the fourth quarter. The guy never touched the floor. It wasn't it. Mark, what's going on with you, my brother? I just asked you to unmute yourself. Haven't seen my brother in a while. Looks like he picked up a couple of pounds. Look at him. My man picked up some pounds. Got the head going. Hey, Mark, you got to hit the unmute button, brother. You got to hit that unmute button, man. I'm anxious to talk to you. I ain't seen you in a while. Haven't seen you in a while. I didn't even know who it was. He didn't even put his name out. All he got is a dot. I was like, who the hell is this? Big Mark, what's up with you, my brother? How you feeling, man?
Before I start, like the show. There's too many people in here for him not to have the amount of likes that he needs for his channel to go out on YouTube. Start watching the show and not support, because I see you guys go over other shows and support other guys, so you like the show. He's giving you entertainment, so all he's asking for is a like. He's not asking for $1. He's asking for a like, something you could press dearly, because YouTube is in the socialism world right now, and they're blocking people. So in that case, please like the man's show.
I appreciate
Number two,
you, baby.
the Messiah is home. The Messiah is home.
All right.
I'm sorry I've been gone, but I've been watching and I've been studying. So listen, man. The Alpha Payne thing, y'all shouldn't even bring up his name, because he wasn't the reason why we lost this game. It's Tibbs, and Julius Randle, to an extent that what makes me mad when I watch him sometimes. Tibbs has to understand mismatch. And what I mean is that you have Trey Young on the floor. I would have had to put him in so many pick and roll actions, so much, where to a point it would have forced Atlanta Hawk defense to double so we could get open shots. Tibbs was just running the same offense over and over. This two-man game, it isn't going to work in the playoffs. It's not going to work. Julius Randle got to understand, Sim, this is the thing. He does not process the game quicker that we need him to do for these other guys to make plays or to make open shots. When he sees the double team coming, he shrivels. I've seen it plenty of times. He shrivels. I don't want to go on this whole thing with Julius Randle, but Tibbs is another person that it killed me. I would have put Obi in the game, because what he brings another dimension that I like to the game, because he can pressure with his dribble. His dribble. He can dribble to create a little pressure and pass the ball. It's a lot of things to his game, and he can shoot the ball. But yet again, Tibbs making plays 12 minutes, and I think you could utilize him. He wasn't scared when he was on the floor. That was the most important thing I've seen of him. He was in the game. He was active. He did everything he needed to do. Now, Sam, we need Mitch back, because he's the only one that can guard a pick and roll or put pressure on Trey Young. Jesus Christ. Nolan, when Capella comes off, he goes in, he follows Capella. You're not supposed to follow Capella too much into the basket. He's supposed to edge a little bit, and Derrick Rose was just getting killed all night going over the screens. I don't know. What was that? He was getting killed all night. So for y'all to say Alpha Payne, and let's not even talk about Frank, because you can't put a play in the last 9 minutes of the game and expect him to go off. Expect him to make one defensive stop on a player that was just pick and roll us to death and get anything he want. He was in his bag tonight from a confidence standpoint, and it showed. Tibbs was one of the main reasons, because offensively, he should have had us in pick and roll action with Trey Young. Because one thing I don't like with Tibbs, he don't call for players' numbers sometimes. I like when he went to RJ. RJ seen the action on Trey Young, and he went immediately into post and got what he wanted. When you have Trey Young on the floor, you have to abuse him in pick and roll action. This double handoff, you're letting the other team on defense do what they want, and that's what they was doing the whole time. They just say, you know what, Randle ain't gonna pass out the double team because he sees it and don't want to pass the ball. It's like to a point he don't trust his teammates to a certain extent. And the thing is, Clyde said it. I heard him say it twice. Randle was not playing with fire. And this is the thing is, when you have an offense predicated to one guy, he has to play to a certain extent where everyone could play off of him, meaning the confidence. Lucky thing Burks was going off. This is the game we should have won, because for Burks to go out there and have a game like that, you cannot rely on him to do that every night. So in that case, if you're going to run the offense through Randle every time, make sure he's deep in the basket and take him off the perimeter. He's too much perimeter oriented in the playoffs. You cannot do that. You cannot do that if he's not a knockdown shooter. And Sim, what was that three? No one talked about it. What was that three he took? And it clicked. What was that? Nothing was practicing with this kid tonight.
Which one?
The last three he took that hit the backboard, and just lucky thing Taj Gibson caught the rebound on that play. That could have
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
The one Hebrew was talking about.
Right.
It's plays like that. It's plays like that where you scratch your head about a player in recognizing the situation. I'm not saying it was his fault the whole game, but Tibbs have to do something offensively to use mismatch. You can't have Bogdanovich at 6'3" that can't play a lick of defense. You have to abuse these guys on the offensive end. So when you have an RJ on the floor, you can't keep him in the corner. You cannot keep him in the corner. Yeah. You have to run actions with him so he keep moving. I'm sick of seeing that offense with the double handoff. It's so obvious. And in the playoffs, attention to detail is so important. It is so important. One play can ruin everything down the stretch.
You're right.
Everything.
Let me get to this phone call. Then I'm going to come to you, Kev. I see you had something to say. I'm going to say this. Randle's been bouncing back all season long. He'd have a bad game. He'd bounce back and have a good game.
It's not him. It's mostly Tibbs for me.
Yeah.
It's mostly Tibbs for me.
Okay. And Tibbs has got to come out and make some real adjustments for the next game and how he's going to use Julius Randle. And I'm telling you, this quasi-zone, quasi-double team is a problem for Julius Randle. They did it in San Antonio the first game. If you go back and see that San Antonio game, it was this, not the second one, the first one. It was this quasi-double team where a guy was coming and kind of hanging there, but not really double teaming hard, and Randle's not exactly sure what to do. They're in a man, but it looks like a zone a little bit. And it's a little bit confusing for the team.
And it slows down the offense.
It slows down the offense. And the reason why it scares me a little bit is because this seems to be something. I talked about it after that San Antonio game. And it seems to be something that can work. That can really work and be effective. So I am a little bit nervous. Caller, you live. What's popping? Hey, caller, you there? Hey, my man. Hey, yo.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, my brother.
Sorry, man. Like I was on mute. You hear me? But like, what I was saying was like I'm a fan from Atlanta. You know me, and like the game, like what I saw, because like the last dude what he was saying about Coach Tibbs, he was actually getting out. He was actually getting out coached by Nate McMillan this game. See, because with the Hawks, let me back up. When the Hawks played the last game with the Knicks when y'all won, that was when Trey got hurt.
Right.
I think Capella got hurt down the stretch, and there was a whole bunch of guys in that game. And D-Rose shout out too. But in that game, the Hawks were up by 12, I think 12 points. Going into the fourth quarter, and one thing about the Hawks down the stretch yes, like the Knicks had during the regular season again.
You're going it.
The Hawks hurt drastically.
Yeah, my man, you kind of going in and out on that, my man. Caller, you live. What's popping?
Hey, brother, how you doing?
I'm good, my friend. How are you?
Doing all right. I'm just wondering, why didn't Trey Burke or Derrick Rose hit that last shot? I mean, I'm not trying to beat on Julius right now, but he's not doing good the whole game. I mean, obviously spooked. I think he's going to come back next game. Well, he's going to, get on a run, but wouldn't you give it to Trey Burks or Derrick Rose?
You mean
Especially
Alec
Rose,
Burks?
who's got the experience.
Yeah, you mean Alec Burks, right? Alec Burks.
Alec
You know
Burks,
what? There's
okay.
no reason whatsoever why Julius Randle, the ball should have been thrown into Julius Randle. A play should have been designed so that either Burks or Rose gets the ball on that last shot. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And I don't know, it looked like there could have been several options there. But getting it to Julius Randle, listen, Julius Randle wasn't hitting all night long. We talked about it in the previous stream last night or whenever it was, and we asked the question. I think maybe it was on the entertainer stream. Who do we want with the ball come down the stretch in the last minutes of the game? And we all said Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose. We want the ball in Derrick Rose's hands.
Got the experience.
And especially listen, if Julius Randle was hot, give it to him. It's not hot. He wasn't hot at all.
Absolutely.
He wasn't hot at all. It wasn't hot.
Absolutely. I think he's gonna get used to this. He's got to get his head used to all this, the crowd back and everything, being in the playoffs.
Yep.
But I don't get why Tibbs gave it to him. I don't get it. Maybe I don't know. They weren't open. I don't get it though.
Well, I seen, when I look at the play, I did, because I was watching Derrick Rose. I thought the ball was going to go to him. I seen him, come off screen, go into the corner, but the defense was tight, couldn't get the ball to the corner. I think Alec Burks popped up to the top, couldn't get the ball to Brooks up at the top. So then they tried to get it to Julius Randle at the high post with a lot of traffic. The pass wasn't really that good. It was Taj Gibson passing the ball in. I'm assuming because he wanted his ball handlers or his scorers to get the ball out of the timeout. And, there it was. That was the pass. And, it's
What about Trey Young, man?
It's a tough
my
one.
God. I don't know how he kept getting into the paint.
He's slick and he's smooth,
I
man.
didn't get that.
He's slick and he's
But the
smooth.
whole game, they don't do nothing about it. I seen a bunch of plays, man, when they only did nothing and they just blew past us.
Well, I mean, it is,
Like
one.
layups.
Yeah, one, he's quick. So he's hard to stay in front
I give it
of.
to him. He's great. I do give it to him. But we're number one defense.
Yeah, I know. We're number one.
But I think we're going to bounce back. I still think we're going to win.
Yeah, listen. We're the number one defense as a team. That doesn't mean that you don't have times when just about anyone in the NBA, if you get them on an island, players are so good in the NBA, you probably can go past them. Just about anybody, if you get on an island with Trey Young, he's going past them. Because he's quick. He's quick and he's slick and he he's trickery. Got a lot of trickery to his game. You know what I mean? So it's tough. It's tough. So they got a lot of thinking to do. Now, it's not like we got blown out though. And we do, Julius Randle did play a bad game. Julius Randle had a bad game. We didn't get blown out. You know what I'm saying? So, I know we're all upset, but,
No, I love the bench.
Yeah.
The bench was crazy. I mean, it made me think Derrick Rose should just start over Payton. Because I understand he wants to Payton for defense, but
it's not about the defense.
I don't want to keep bringing up. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's not about the defense. It's not about the defense.
No, it's really not. No, I think he's better defensively than offensively.
Hold on 1 second.
Sim, you're breaking up.
Let me get this thing back up there.
You hear me?
Sorry about that, my man. We had a little bit of static. I had to refresh something. We had a little bit of static. It's not about the defense. It's about the consistency in the rotations that they've been doing all season long. That's basically what it is.
Right.
And that's who Tom Thibodeau is. And that's what Tom Thibodeau does. That's who he is. You know what I'm saying? He's like, this is what I've been doing. And, he's probably going to continue to do it. He might decide to make a change. He might decide to make a change. But, it's kind of who Tom Thibodeau is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate your call, my friend.
Thank you, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a good one.
No doubt about it. Trying to have a good one, man. I hate losing in a playoff game, but, so it's, trying to have a good one. I do have a good question here. Ricardo Custer, he asked in the chat. He says, Sim, what about Bullock's minutes? He played 18 minutes. He usually plays about 30. What do you think happened? Bullock has this kind of games. He's had these kind of games, and he stays on the court. I think with Bullock, It was all about Alec Burks playing so well. I think a lot of it had to do with Alec Burks. You know, shooting the ball, playing well. You know, and we needed some scoring out there too. And Alec Burks is a better scoring than Bullock's. So I think that's probably what it was about. Cornerstone.
All right, first, I'm a little bit simmered down a little bit. Second, Mark, I don't know where the heck you've been, but it's good to see you. You just pop up, you know, in a loss like this. So you're still muted. So there you go. Listen, the rookies did their thing today. The rookies really did their thing. RJ did his thing. But going forward, if we're to have a chance to win this series, he's going to really have to give more than just whatever seconds for Frank to be in there. I'm not saying he has to start. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that Tibbs needs to swallow swallow whatever pride he has. He needs to think outside the box, and he needs to just go with putting Frank in there to stick this guy, because he is going to be a menace to us all. He's going to be a menace to us all. Now, again, I'm not saying he has to start. I am saying he might have to finish. He's got to play. Frank has got to play. Because if he doesn't, this series is just going to be all for nothing. It's going to be all for nothing. And Uncle Fulio, you can shake your head all you want. But if you're looking at what I'm looking at, he's got to play. He's your best defender. And I know he didn't stick him in the last few seconds, but who else is going to do that? All right? That's all I'm saying. He's got to play.
Can I respond to that, please? So I think we're we're all over the place here, right? The Knicks lost by 2 points. We're all frustrated. But the Knicks, even with all these mistakes that we made or Tibbs made, we still only lost a game by 2 points, and we had a chance to win this game down the stretch. So, guys, it's fine. The Knicks will be fine. The Knicks will be okay.
So you say that now. What happens if we go 0-2? You gonna be still confident by that? You still gonna be confident?
It's all nuance to it, Kev. What I'm saying is the game was close. The Knicks had a chance to win this ball game. But what I do want to say is that I have a theory as to why Frank wasn't in the game. Frank has been situational the entire season. Frank, with Frank coming in at the end of the game and those last little bit of minutes towards the end of the game to guard the best offensive player of the other team, he's been doing that the whole entire season. So that him being in the game at that point, that's nothing new. That was nothing new for Frank. That was his only role. Hold on, let me finish. That was his only role. And I get no one was going to stop Trey Young tonight, okay? And I'm not blaming it on Frank. But the reason why Frank Ntilikina is not in the game for the majority of the game is because who are you going to take out? You take out another ball handler. And Frank is not going to be a ball handler. But that's the reason why you have Burks, and that's the reason why you have Quickly on the floor at the same time with Rose to have that second ball handler in there. Frank, if you put Frank in the game on a lot of those offensive possessions, Frank, he can't handle the ball. He's not that better. He's not a better dribbler than Elfrid Payton. You know what I'm saying? I know people hate him, but at least Payton can at least get to the paint a little bit. So that's the reason why Frank is not in the game for the majority of the game, and that's why he's in those situational minutes like that. So the Knicks will be fine. Everybody just cool out. The Knicks will be okay.
I will say this. I don't think the Knicks will be okay if, again, we don't contain Trey Young. Again, right?
Thank you.
I remember I read a stat through Tommy Bear, something like that. The minutes that Trey Young was guarded by Elfrid Payton and Derrick Rose, he got 25 points and 14 assists or something like that. But again, right, to me, this series, like some said, game two is that's it. I'm gonna be quite frank, no pun intended. That's it. If we lose, then it'll be cool. It's cool if Knicks can steal a game, but I think the Hawks will beat this in 5. If we don't win tomorrow, you have to. I think. Listen, we have 3 days. Phibbs, Julius, everybody. They have to all come together. Coaching staff has to come together and see what we have to do to figure out Trey Young, because again, right, what's working, what Thibs is doing isn't working. And this is where you get paid the big bucks with their adjustments. And you guys can shake your head, but again, we lost. Trey Young went crazy.
I'm in agreement with you, Isaiah.
He got to the paint easy today. There was no stopping him. Nolan Noel couldn't do nothing. Again, like Mark said, D Rose kept getting lost. Like he just kept getting blown by. I literally watched our game. He's getting blown by easily. Again, the Knicks do have great team defense. But we don't have a lot of individual great defenders. And, again, give the credit to Tom Thibodeau and the coaching staff, because, again, they did a great job with a lot of guys that are not individually great defenders, but they did great team defense. To me, again, right, listen, people are gonna say, oh, we're talking about Frank again. It comes down to overpaying a Frank. But, again, right, I'd rather have a guy that's one of the better pick and roll, probably is the best pick and roll defender on our team that can fight over screen in the game, versus a guy that gives us 8 minutes and doesn't do anything. So again, right, if we're going to have to do something different, because it just hasn't been working. In these last 2 to 3 games that we played against Trey Young with our point guard play, it hasn't worked. Regular season and this playoff game, it hasn't worked. So we got to have to do something, because if we lose, then listen, Hawks in 5. It'd be cute, but it'd be 5. So again, we got to figure things out. But we have 3 days, and you can bet your bottom dollar that Tom Thibodeau is right now eating cold or hot pizza, trying to figure this out.
I'm gonna share some of Josh's sentiments, though. Right? I mean, obviously, we didn't win the basketball game, but we were down. We lost by 2. We had a 7-point lead in third quarter, a 5-point lead with just minutes to go in the game. The game was there for us to win. If Alec Burks hits that wide open shot, this game is very, very different. You know what I mean? And that's with Trey Burke doing what he did. Obviously, Trey Burke, scored, a good bucket. There's not one person on his team. I don't care who you put on him. I'm sorry. There's not one person on his team that is going to stop Trey Burke. It has to be a team thing. Yes. We've been playing team defense.
The team thing isn't working.
Hold up.
It clearly isn't working.
One man is not going to work.
Sim, I'd rather have the guy. Sim, but hold on.
But one man carved us.
I'd rather have the guy. Listen, I'd rather have the guy historically that's played good against Trey Young.
This is just ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
That hasn't done nothing against Trey Young.
If I could chime in, we're only talking about 8 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So, 8 minutes is going to stop Trey Young.
Let me get to a couple super chats here.
It's a 48-minute game.
I get the 8 minutes, but 8 minutes of nothing, 8 minutes of negative. Because we can't talk about playoff basketball. Every possession counts, every minute counts, and then say 8 minutes ain't nothing. We can't.
No, we're not talking about that. You're talking about. No, hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna move on for that. I'm tired of that whole conversation, because it's null and void. First of all, if you put Frank Ntilikina on Trey Burke this game, I guarantee you Trey Burke does the same thing that he did tonight. One man. I'm sorry. One man is.
I doubt that. I doubt that.
Bro, one man is not stopping Trey Burke. We have not played that way. We have not played that way all season long. All season we've played team defense. Now we want to.
It's not working. It's called adjustments, bro.
Oh my God.
Hold on.
Sam, I'm going to say one thing.
No. I'm saying something, then he screams it's not working. We won 41 games by playing team defense. We just lost one game in the playoffs by 2 points. One game in the playoffs. How can you say it's not working when it's just one game? He scored that many points that game. We've been playing team defense all season long. One person is not stopping Trey Young. That is not how you play defense. Just like one person's not stopping Damian Lillard. One person is not stopping Steph Curry. It is a team thing. We got to figure out, how do we do this as a team? If you think you're just going to insert Frank Ntilikina to play 30 minutes and he's going to shut down Trey Young, you're badly mistaken. sadly mistaken.
If I can add to that, man, because you look at the minutes, Derrick Rose, Alec Burke, and quickly, all these guys got to play. So I mean, so you mean to tell me if you put Frank Ntilikina in there for 30 minutes, that means that you're taking minutes away from Derrick Rose, Burks, and quickly. And where do we get our points from? Because Frank Ntilikina is not going to score at all.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? He might hit a corner three here and there. You know, he might do something maybe. You know, but he's going to be on his I like to say on his nut, just like Peyton is on, man. He's not going to score either.
And it's not even about the scoring. He's not a ball handler. Frank Ntilikina is not a ball handler. So you take the ball out of Rose's hands or Quickly's hands, then what do? You can't sub Frank in every defensive possession, like Sim was saying last time.
Yeah, it's not football.
Let me get to some super chats here, please. Quindell Barry, thank you for the super chat. He said Tibbs putting Frank in a tough spot, coming cold off the bench to guard Trey. He said start Frank, give him more cracks at Trey. Julius G's. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, first of all, that wasn't fair. Putting Frank in a tough spot. It really wasn't. We'll see if he starts to give him more minutes throughout this series, because if he expects him to come in and be able to play good defense at all, and I'm not saying he doesn't play good defense, I'm just saying one guy is not going to stop the kid. It's got to be a team effort, right? You can try to trap him. That's called team defense. And then you have other guys rotating. The same way when we played against the Portland Trail Blazers, and at the end of the game, we started sending a double team towards Damian Lillard. It took the ball out of his hands. We started to come back. Those are the type of things that Tom Thibodeau was going to try to do, because one guy's not going to do it. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. E-Banks, thank you for the super chat. He said, Tibbs and Randle lost us this game. Starting Elf and not even attempting to double Trey. And that final play was terrible. The bench was saving the Knicks. Exactly. Sergeant G-Man, he said, I'm going to need for everyone to reach up and grab your ears and say, Hoosah. We have a game on Wednesday. I agree. We do have a game on Wednesday, and I don't want people to overreact. Now, I do think it's a must win, but I do think that we can win the basketball game. We lost by 2 points. We had a lead in this game. We almost, if we had we were up 7. We had a chance to knock down a 3. I think Randle took it and missed it. That would have put us up double digits, but we missed it. You know what I'm saying? But we had a chance to win this game even down the stretch, as bad as Randle played and as well as Trey Young played. So we cannot lose sight of that. BJ Samuel said, listen, I wish some of y'all stop being so pessimistic. And Trey Young regret talking smack at the end, because the series has just begun, and I see the Knicks shutting him down the rest of the series. I hope so. And again, BJ Samuel, thank you for the super chat. He said we have to get more physical with Young and make him uncomfortable, because he was too comfortable. He was very comfortable out there. And that's what those screens do. It's hard for him not to get comfortable, because those screens are tough to handle. And they don't send just one. It's 1, 2 screens. 1975 Jam Rock, he said, we need to make Trey and Bogdan play defense, especially Trey. He's resting on defense, just guarding a purely jump shooter and Bullock. Right? Per and post up. I'm not exactly sure what that is. Bless Roberts, he said, sick. He's sick. Why not show our defenders that Trey Young must at some point dribble and juke to his right to initiate action? Why do we ever show him to his right, push him to his right at all? I don't know. I guess we have to look, really be able to look and break down, his dribble and the things that he does with his dribble to understand if, pushing him to his right, left, whatever. I'm not sure either one of those are going to work. I think he's just crafty. Somebody else asked me about trying to force him to his left or to his weak hand. I don't know if he really has a weak hand. He's very crafty, so I don't know if he really has a weak hand like that. Get you a phone call here. Call you live. What's popping?
Yeah, thank you guys.
I appreciate you.
I'm so glad what happened with the Knicks. It's a 7-game series. They'll be fine. All I just want to say to you guys, we need to change the defensive tactics against Trey Young.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to be doubled a few times. See, you can't play one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when the game is on the line, we need to throw 2 guys at him. Let him get the ball off his hand. Gotta get the ball off his hand. when the game is on the line, like tonight. And we're not playing physical enough. The last game of the season, we played him physical. He got injured. He got ankle injuries. He never came back. This is a playoff. We got to be a little more tougher on him. I mean, he can't get to the free throw line every time and do what he wants. The coach is not doing a good job on this. He needs to adjust next game. And that's all I want to say, guys. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for giving me a chance to talk.
I appreciate you, man. Bye-bye. I agree. I appreciate you. Let me get you one more phone call, then I'm going to come to my man Anthony Dunbar in the building. Glad to have him here. Caller, you're live. What's poppin'? Could you turn that down in the back, please?
Yo, son, what up?
What's going on with you, my brother? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. Well, not too good, but yo, I've been waiting for this call for the longest time, since yesterday.
Okay.
Now I'm on it. This Elfrid Payton talk, I'm with Cornerstone and I'm with Isaiah. It needs to stop. He is a zero. He is a zero on offense. He is a zero on defense. I don't know what happened to his defense. He doesn't know how to play defense anymore. I notice you guys keep on saying, oh, what is Frank going to do? He can't guard for him one-on-one. To go to Isaiah's point, Frank gets over screens better than anyone on our team. So nobody's asking him to guard him one-on-one. But with Frank on the court, it would make team defense easier and much more efficient. Secondly, Elfrid, and it's Tibbs' fault too. This game, to me personally, it's not even on Elf. It's Tibbs and Randle personally. Randle, I've been saying this for a while. People are gonna think I'm capping, but I've been saying it for a while. Randle had a great season, MVP season, MIP season. But months ago, I was calling he's gonna struggle in the playoffs. Why? I personally believe that Randle has a me complex. I have to be the one that does it. I have to be the guy that carries the load. Me. Because I don't believe that he doesn't see where the double is coming from. He has this personality where it's like, I got to make the play. I got to get the assist. I notice he hates hockey assists. Pass it to this guy, pass it to the guy, that guy. He wants to get the assist. That's why he holds the ball so long. And then he ends up turning it over. And I hate when he comes in, slows down the offense. You notice when the bench mob is in, the ball is moving, boom, 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 boom. He comes in the game, isolation post up. You're not Melo. You're not KD. Isolation post up, fading away. Don't want to go to the rim. Don't want to go to the hoop. Like, come on, man. I don't even want to jump on Randle like that, but he's been wild.
That's what you're doing. But go ahead.
But no. But I'm saying I have to. I don't want to, but I have to.
Okay.
He's been wilding lately. Tibbs, this dude is stubborn, man. I'm telling you, I called a few months ago. I said Tibbs is a stopgap coach. You see where his deficiencies lie, adjustments and his stubbornness. We need a coach, one of those Utah coach, Quinn Snyder, Nick Nurse, who runs offense as well as defense. I don't know what we're doing on offense. You have Elfrid Payton out there who's not a shooter, and you run the offense through Julius Randle, which means Elf is off ball, but Elf can't shoot. Well, that's what makes it harder for Julius to score, because Elf's man is not even guarding him. So if you play Frank those 8 minutes, you're more liable to at least have a threat of a catch and shoot. And if he's not even going to be a threat offensively, Frank is a way better defender than Elf. So to have Elf play 8 minutes, and he's a zero on offense and defense, and then he's not even playmaking, you're wasting him. Where's to Isaiah? Everybody wants to say it's playoffs, every minute counts, every possession. Then you can't say 8 minutes ain't nothing.
Nobody said that. 8 minutes is huge. Nobody said that. But everybody on this team. Hold on. Everybody. No, we're not. I mean, some people might have said, he only played 8 minutes. You can't blame this game on him, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was that. No one's saying that every minute doesn't count. Obviously, every minute counts. Everybody has their role on this team. Tom Thibodeau has chosen each player to have a role.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked them specifically to play a role. What is it? I can't tell you that because I'm not in the locker room.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't say, well, this guy's role. We can only speculate. But Tom Thibodeau asks each guy to have a role, and that's the role that he's giving them to play, and they're going out there and playing that role. You know what I'm saying? If your role, Obi Toppin's role, is to get a breather for Julius Randle, I actually want Obi Toppin to stay in the game tonight, though, because the way things looked with him out there, it looked better, it looked open, it looked cleaner, right? So I wanted him to stay out there. But his role really right now at this point is to give Randle a breather, right? That's all else. That's all else role is. And Frank Ntilikina's role at this point is to play some defense when Tom Thibodeau chooses to bring him in and play some defense.
I understand that. I guess
where is he confident with Frank being the on-ball guard to advance the ball up the floor in the beginning of the game? Is he confident?
I don't believe that he is.
I mean, is Tom Thibodeau confident in Frank to do that? So people who are saying he needs to play this minutes, that minute, these many minutes, is he confident in Frank to do that? That's the question that we can only know. We don't know, right? It's up to Tom Thibodeau if he's confident in him enough to do that. You know what I'm saying? At this point, Tom Thibodeau's not going to change it. Definitely, he's not going to change it. We know that about him and where it is because, he's been a person that stayed consistent. And guess what? No matter what anyone says, his consistency has worked.
But that's his flaw, though, Sim.
But look, it has worked. It's worked this season. And all you can do right now is focus on what we do this season and then how do we upgrade for next season when that time comes. Because we don't have the players, the things that you're asking certain people to do. Those players are not on this team. The stuff you're asking Peyton to do or Frank to do, maybe he can play the defense, but I don't know if he can be your on-ball guard that consistently. See, he plays better. Wait a minute. He plays better when you notice Frank Ntilikina is in the game when he got major minutes out there. It was Derrick Rose was the on-ball guard.
And he was off ball. I agree.
Right. But what I'm saying is when you're asking, right, I get that. But when you're asking for him to start, and I'm not saying you did. When other people are asking for him to start, he's not going to be the on-ball guard. Right, so I mean, it's looking at how you use their players and their strengths and those type of things. And I get it. He will hit he's shooting 40-something% from three. You know what I mean? But right now, with the way that this team is, listen, in game, people are talking about adjustments. It's hard to make an adjustment in game. You can make some little ones. The adjustments, especially in the playoffs, are going to come game to game. So let's see how Tom Thibodeau adjusts coming into the next game. You know what I'm saying?
He won't.
Game to game.
You know he won't, and that's his biggest flaw. You know he won't.
Well, you're saying adjust the rotation. He may adjust, but let's see how he adjusts strategy-wise.
Okay. Oh, okay, fair. Here's what I'm saying about that, though. The reason why I'm talking about Frank, I know he's playing off ball. We all can agree on that. That's when he's more effective. The offense is ran through Julius Randle.
It is.
So it doesn't make sense to have Elf on the court when he's not a shooter if you're not running it to him.
I get that.
That's why
I agree with you there. I agree with you there. Okay. And my argument with you and anybody else is not about Elfrid Payton and how good he is of a player. It's not about that. Everyone says start Derrick Rose. That's not the move to me.
I'm not on that start Derrick Rose bandwagon.
Start Frank Ntilikina. I don't think that's the move either. Especially coming into this playoff game, a guy who's been getting 30 seconds a night. You're just going to elevate him into the starter position in the first round of the playoffs? No.
But Sim, listen to me.
30 seconds a night? Come on, bro.
Big bro, listen to me. What I'm saying is, if you're giving Elf your starting point guard 8 minutes, therefore you know this dude is a zero. So take the 8 minutes and give it to Frank to play off ball
But
and then
when?
then you can use him as situational.
Okay.
He doesn't have to play 25, 30 minutes.
I get that. But when? Because if you're taking Elf out, that means you're taking a guard out of that lineup. So are you saying that you're starting Frank Ntilikina then?
I'm starting Frank because the offense is ran through Julius.
But that's what I'm saying. I get that, but that's what I'm saying. I just don't think you're ready to take Frank from playing 30 seconds Ignite to starting in the playoffs. I just don't think you're doing that right now. Somebody said start Burks. Okay, maybe. I didn't like the way Burks looked in the starting lineup. I wasn't cool with that. I didn't like the way it looked, but maybe because he is a guy that could be on the basketball. You know what I mean? But the bottom line to me is when we come in, regardless of how the rotations go, and we have a 7-point lead in the third quarter, we have a 5-point lead with minutes to go. We got to close it out. And Elfrid Payton's not out there at that time in the game. Frank Ntilikina's not out there at that time of the game. We got to close it out.
I agree. And I'm going to end it on this, big bro, because I got to go to work. You know, I work the graveyard. But I'm going to end it on this. This is why I say when my opening topic was Randle. I genuinely, personally believe we lost that game at the end of the third quarter. Up 7 with a minute left. You have 2 terrible possessions.
No lie.
They cut it down. They cut it down to 2 points.
Yeah.
Momentum is up on their side. I'm telling you, if we had pushed it to 10, or we kept it to 5, 6, 7, now we can keep going back and forth. They cut it down to 4. We put it back up to 6.
Yeah, you're definitely
we go back and forth. It's easier to hold the lead. Julius Randle, I want you to pay attention to this, big bro, and I'm going to tweet you on Wednesday. He has a me complex.
Okay.
He says all the right things. Oh, I just want to do this and I want to do that. It's the Big 15 and this. I'm telling you, he has a me complex. It has to be me. I have to get it done. I have to make the assist. I have to make the jump shot. Game winner. This, that. I'm telling you, pay attention to him. He is very, very, very me.
I got you, man. I got you. I'm paying attention. I got you. Looking forward to the call on. Well, I'm gonna be on tomorrow. I'm gonna be on tomorrow doing a shoot around because I want to break down some of the things that I saw. But if you're gonna give a call on, Wednesday, whatever.
Lines open tomorrow?
Looking forward to. Yeah, they'll be open. It's gonna be during the day, probably about 3:30 or so.
I bet I'll be on that.
All right, appreciate you, my man.
All right, Chef. Have a good one.
All right, peace. My man, AD. What's going on with you, bro?
Sam!
What's up with you, man? How you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling it's expected after a playoff loss, the first time we've been in the playoffs, however. But I got over that. Let me first say peace to the chat, peace to the panel, Knicks family, all Knicks fans around the world. Let's calm down a second. I wasn't gonna get on because I was just on a few seconds with G-Mo and them the last out because I felt like I was gonna hear this tidal wave of Frankfurters. Yeah. You understand? Mm-hmm. And number one, Kev, you gotta stop. You just have to stop. You almost sound like you know nothing about basketball, my brother. Seriously, this man is playing 30 seconds to a minute and a half a night. Some nights not even playing. And you want him to come in to chase around Trey and forget about everything else that we've been able to establish as a team. He's not that nice. Get it in you and the rest of your hive. He's not that nice. Okay? The coach put him in a moment where the coach shouldn't have done that to him. Let me say this first and foremost. 9.8 seconds to go. Take a look at what happened in the play-in game, the way how the Lakers defended Curry, right? And how Memphis defended Curry in those last seconds. You can't afford for this man to get up a shot that's not heavily contested, that's not double teamed. You guys with this, Elfrid only played, 7.5 minutes, 8 minutes for the entire game? And we're going to come out here on this Frank Hyde nonsense? You sound crazy, my brother. And you my brother, but you sound crazy. We lost this game because the coach, and to some of what the previous caller was saying with Julius, which was one of our worst fears, and I think we talked about this the other day, Sim, they're hoping that Julius continually plays the team game. Pass the ball out. Let the game come to you. If you're not, once upon a time during the season, Julius was all the way up and everybody else had to kind of catch up to Julius, right? He was our anchor. That was once upon a time. It's not that way anymore. We're in the playoffs. You take it, just to show you how you could see where he was with it, Noel has the key block in the game. Julius has the ball. He's about to dribble. Julius dribbles the ball out of bounds. Right? Quickly was in the game, and for whatever who like Quickly, don't like Quickly, the young man has a certain energy that he brings to an empty building, let alone a building that had 15,000. Okay? Those last minute and a half, I think it was like last, 2.5 minutes, he takes Quickly out to put Rose in. I know Rose has been part of our closer, but our closing personnel, but right then and there, you kind of felt something was lost when you took Quickly out, because a three or one of his moves, it explodes. It permeates throughout the team and throughout the building. You know, it's Thibodeau and some of his calls, those high double screens that they kept running to where Trey is going to his strong side. That's not a Frank issue. That's a coaching issue. So to come on here on this soapbox and to talk about Frank and what Frank has done and this, that, and Frank did this to Trey in the international game, whatever. What did he do in the last few seconds of the game when Trey cut him up and he almost fell down? Stop it. You guys sound crazy with this Frank nonsense. Cut it out. We are in good position. We're all right. We're going to win this series. Stop the fandom.
Go ahead, Kev.
No, I'll let Isaiah. I'll let Isaiah. I'm turning it over to Isaiah because let Isaiah.
I agree with Anthony, though. I agree with Anthony. Nice little.
What's going on, Ant? What's going on, brother? You know, it's always good to talk to you, man. You know, shout out to G1 Show.
It's always good to talk to you, Zeke. You my man.
Anthony.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if you get on that Kev nonsense, I'm telling you, I am prepared to verbally incinerate you tonight.
Oh man! Hey, first and foremost, Sim, we have 760 people, but we don't even have 350 likes. People, this is the playoffs. This is 8 years in the making. Can you get my brother some likes? We got the legendary Who's Mark. We got Anthony Dunbar. We got Savvy. We got Euro. We got Kev. We got Big Bro Sim. Can my brother get some likes? Please. I'm begging you. You don't got to beg. I'm begging you.
Let's
Please.
get it.
We got the legendary Who's Mark in the building. Y'all not going to get my brother some likes?
And Cornerstone, people want to hear from you. So, you know, Isaiah's going to say his piece. People want to hear from you, Cornerstone. So don't go to sleep now.
Before Kev go, here's my thing. And my brother, here's where you're wrong. Because, again, right, it wasn't an international game. This was an NBA game. Where, again, right, the Knicks played great team defense. We all can agree on that. But individually, we got to have some guys that can listen, I don't want this narrative to change. Nobody is saying Frank can stop Trey Young. Nobody is saying that. Nobody in the NBA can stop a high all-star NBA talent. Nobody can. That's just not possible. But what you can do is you can limit him. Again, it's so funny. It's so funny in this chat, in this community, that we just forget that Frank plays great individual defense. Now,
exactly.
We just forget about that. We forget about the Kyrie Irving games. We forget about the Kemba Walker games. We forget about all these games where Frank has played good, and now he can't guard Trey Young for about 20 minutes. Again, nobody's saying Frank is going to stop Trey Young. Don't put that narrative out there that Frank people are saying we can stop Trey. I'm saying we can limit him. We can make him work harder. We can, and further, this is crazy that we're saying he's not a ball handler. Like Peyton is a ball handler. Like Frank can't just bring the ball up the court and give it to Randle like Peyton does.
Thank you.
So
that's very different. That's very different. Frank Ntilikina is very well known to get a little bit shaky if you got too much defense on you. You know that's very different.
Peyton just dumps it to Randle, and he doesn't really do anything. So again, I'll take my chances. I'll take my chances with Frank versus Peyton. But all I'm saying before I pass the Kev is that we're talking about this, and listen, it's not working. And what we're doing right now, these past couple of games with Trey, isn't working. The team defense isn't working. Having Peyton on him isn't working. Having D-Rose on him isn't working. Why not try something different to save this series? Because again, right? Hold on a second. Because let's say Frank plays more and we win. I'm not going to say. We're not going to hear nobody complain about, this adjustment, this. No, we're going to be happy that we won. So again, right, this is playoff basketball. You have to focus on adjusting. You're going to have to focus on your opponent. You're going to have to change a few things up that you normally don't do. Because sometimes, and I agree, what Tibbs did this year got us so far to the postseason. Now we're in the postseason, and if it isn't working, you got to change it up. That's how things go. That's adjustment. That's adjusting. That's coaching. That's how it works.
Okay, cool. Go ahead, Kev. Let me get Kevin in. Let me get Kevin there real quick.
And to say, see, what a lot of people like AD and I don't know who else here, maybe Mark, what a lot of these people, like in the chat as well, your hatred for Frank, it blinds you to know what it is that works for us. Everything Isaiah said was true. We have great team defense, but sometimes you need an individual guy to make somebody uncomfortable because it ain't Alfred, and unfortunately, it's not Derek. I mean, if it's all, if anything, if you don't want to put Frank in, fine. If that's your model, fine. Put quickly on him. All right, do something because right now it's not working. And if I'm the coach, I'm going to put Frank in for more than just 8 seconds. All right. If he's good enough to be on the floor for that key moment, he's good enough to be on the floor for for more than just 8 seconds. All right. So the hatred for Frank right now, you can say all that.
I don't think there's any hatred towards Frank. I don't think there's any hatred towards Frank.
With the way AD was talking.
No, there's no, Kev. There's no hatred for Frank.
But you're saying just shelf him. You're saying just shelf him.
No, I'm not saying shelf him. I'm saying his role, right? Okay. Look at earlier in the game, and Walt even commented on this when he put him in when Trey was in his bag. That he comes across, gets into a screen. Immediately, Frank leaves him, and RJ is on him. So no.
Then it's a communication chain between the both of them.
Yes,
Frank should have said, "You know what? Stay on your man. I got him."
Yes, that's
not how basketball always works, though.
I mean, this conversation, I think, is like in imagination. This is like imagination land. You keep saying the same thing over and over again. You should be talking about 8 minutes. If anything, take Alfred out and don't play Alfred at all either, and just play the guards that are working, Rose, quickly, and whoever the other guy is.
I agree with that too. I'm totally with that.
Right, and
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But you know, we're saying we're totally with that, but then we say Derrick Rose can't play all these minutes. I mean, what
I never said that. I never said it.
What AD just said is exactly correct. Frank Ntilikina got in the game. There was an automatic switch, and RJ's now on Trey Young. What people don't realize is there's so much more to basketball. It's not just Frank Ntilikina, right? If they don't want Frank Ntilikina guarding Trey Young, that's all they're gonna do is say, okay, let's create this switch real quick.
Yes,
it's not about that.
It's so simple. Yeah,
it's very simple.
It's so simple.
You can easily in the NBA create a situation to have Trey Young on Julius Randle, to have Julius Randle guarding Trey Young, right? If you remember that Phoenix Suns game, all night long, the Phoenix Suns wanted Chris Paul guarded by Julius Randle. They created that situation. Didn't matter who was guarding Chris Paul. Didn't matter. They created a situation where Chris Paul was constantly guarded by Julius Randle. That is how basketball works. Everyone thinks it's so black and white. Oh, take this guy. This guy averages 20 points. Put him in your system. He's automatically going to give you an extra 20 points a game. It's not like that. Hold up. Wait a minute. Basketball is not that black and white. There's so many other things that happen, so many different domino effects when someone is inserted, when someone is taken out. The way the basketball game is played, it's not just black and white. Like, oh yeah, we're going to put this guy in it now. Boom. You don't think they're going to counteract something if it is working?
Okay. What I don't understand is what is the emotion though? There's like so much emotion just talking about Frank. What is that about? It's not just Cornerstone. It's not just Kev. I mean Isaiah. I mean it's the whole internet. Everybody's like so emotional about Frank Ntilikina. Oh, he can play such great defense. Okay, so what? You know, there's like Sim just explained why it's like ridiculous. And Anthony Dunbar had a nice long rant there that was beautiful. It explained it all too. But we're still coming back to the same thing about that Frank Ntilikina is such a great defender, and then you're only talking about playing him for a few minutes.
And can shoot the three as well.
But we've been talking about Frank Ntilikina for 4 years. 4 years. It's like. And he just started shooting the three this year.
And he's still with us. And
whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? Hold on a second, Kev. When you guys, with not all of you, you know, I'm talking in general. And I think I made this point before. In that first
AD, why didn't he get traded? If it's all that, we're saying that, you know, he's still here. If it's all that, then why didn't he go into Detroit in the Detroit trade with DSJ?
Come on, Kev.
I'm asking if we're going to go there. He's still with us, which means that the organization still sees something in him.
I can't answer that just like you can't answer that. But what I can say is this for offense, defense. The first time Cleveland played Golden State, Iguodala was the MVP, and they raved about the great defense he played on LeBron. You want to go and check LeBron's numbers for that series? You want to take a look what he did to Golden State? Short man, 35, 10 and 12 or some ridiculous, some crazy numbers. He is one guy. He is a good defender. We're not playing 21 outside on the blacktop, my brother.
It's not football either. We can't just switch like that. You know, it's basketball.
Yeah, no doubt. Let me get to the phone call. Get to a phone call. Then I want to get to Steph. Steph's just joining us from the game. See if we can get a level head up in here. You know what I'm saying? See if we can get a level head. 731 people still here, ladies and gentlemen. As much as we've been talking about Elfrid Payton and Frank Ntilikina, I'm surprised you're still here. But I definitely appreciate you, man. Please subscribe to the channel. Ring that notification bell. I'll definitely be on live tomorrow doing some more breakdown of this game. You know, something maybe a little bit more in depth. Right now, we letting off steam. We got to let off steam, you know, because we as a fan base was so amped up about this game. And to have a letdown, you know, it hurts a little bit. So, you know, we need this therapy sometimes. Caller. You ready to go? What's poppin'?
Sam, how are you?
I'm good, man. How you feeling? I know you've been on for a minute listening to.
Oh, no.
I know you've been on for a minute, man. Appreciate you for
I need
staying.
to let it out. Two biggest plays that cost us the game, in my opinion. Julius turnover, up 5, end of the third quarter. Lou Williams hits a dagger 3 to cut it to 2. I was trying to get separation, but you can't turn the ball over there. We've had this conversation a lot. Just got to maximize possessions and finish quarters. And then RJ not securing the ball, leading to the Bogdanovich killer 3. And look, I'm pointing out those two because, in my opinion, if one of those two plays doesn't happen, we win. But a lot of things killed us. I mean, Julius missed a free throw in the fourth quarter. I hold Alec Burks to a Michael Jordan level, so he missed a free throw in the fourth quarter.
To a Jordan
It's hard
level?
to put this on Burks. It's hard to put this on Burks because I hold him to a Michael Jordan level.
Hold up, Coach. A Michael Jordan level? How do you hold Alec Burks to a Michael Jordan level?
I'm just messing with man.
Oh, okay.
I'm happy for the guy, man.
Okay.
I'm just happy for the guy because I believe that he has a clutch gene and can do what he did tonight. But the reality is, Sam, we can't rely on Alec Burks to do that every game.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be there for us, and I want him on the floor. But we didn't deserve to win. They didn't calm down. They didn't execute. They didn't focus. But they thought they were still in the game. I thought it was going to get away from us.
Yeah. I was a little scared of that.
I'll leave you with this because I know a lot of people want to chime in. I feel like Knicks fans have forgot what it's like being in a playoff series. This is what it's about. You're going to be up all night thinking about the what if you lose. You have to bounce back.
Yeah.
So every time, Sam, I've called you in the regular season saying we need to bounce back. Julius needs to bounce back. Julius wasn't good down the stretch of the game. This is part of it. And we've had this conversation, Sam. He's still learning.
Yeah.
He's never been here before.
Yeah. Very true.
So we're on this ride with him. I'm not going to turn on Julius Randle.
Nope.
I'm going to try to help Julius Randle. And it starts tomorrow. He's got to get a better mentality, look at the film, and just calm down. And I need RJ to play better in the first half. Enough of this just coming through in the second half. He can be better, and Bullock didn't do anything for us. He's got to make a few threes. But that's all I got, man.
I
Have a
feel
good
you,
night.
man. Appreciate you, man. Ladies and gentlemen. Steph?
Yeah. First, I want to say I feel like, I appreciate Mark being here, Eve, Savvy, Isaiah, Anthony, some new people that I don't think I've shared the panel with. So I feel blessed. I also want to say, listening to you guys coming home, this is a professional operation right here. I mean, just listening to you guys while I was driving, that could have been any media outlet. That's how professional you guys sounded.
Thank you.
As for the game itself, Sam, I think you hit it on the head when you said it's not going to be one person to stop Trey or anybody on the land. It's our team defense. And our team defense just wasn't there. I felt like Tibbs, I'm sure he's going to make an adjustment on Trey between this game and the next game. But he could have made the adjustment somewhere in the second, in the third quarter, somewhere in the fourth quarter. Like I'm thinking that if Trey does this, we're going to play him this way. However, if he gets hot, we're going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
This never came. They just played him the same way. They didn't even need the pick and roll. He didn't need a pick. He was able to get past rolls at will. And I seen that just watching the tape in the first few games, right? So they didn't really, they did the pick and roll, but they didn't need it. Once he got past rolls, I don't know where the second line of defense was. He was able to get deep into the key for the floater. What Noel was doing, he was in no man's land. He's not playing Capella. He's not playing Trey. So what are you doing?
Yeah.
And that floater over and over, and that was there in the fourth quarter. That's all they did. He got into the lane and with the floater. So Tibbs not adjusting to that, and I think also offensively, I was listening to Mark. I liked his points as well. Randle If you're going to play the whole series on the perimeter, you're making it easy for them. You're making it easy for them. You got to get down in that post and you got to force them to double team. Right? Now, if they don't, you can go one-on-one closer to the basket, perhaps draw a foul. And if they do double team you, now you can get it out to the shooters. He, in my opinion, was on self-check. They didn't have to do anything special for him because, and that made it easier for them. He was just taking these fadeaway shots. And listen, those are his shots. And when they hit, they hit. So I don't think he took a lot of bad shots. They just weren't falling. All right, Mark. Let
me get him.
They just wasn't falling. And now they're not falling. You're going to keep taking the same shots? Like, you're not going to move into the post? The coaching staff is not going to pull your coat and say, okay, listen, let's get some baskets down here. Lastly, you got to make Trey work on defense. Get him down in the post. Do some sort of action where he's isolated with somebody. That's the advantage. So, listen, I'm a huge Tibbs fan, but I just feel like he's going to make the adjustments, I'm sure, from game 1 to game 2, but there's some adjustments I felt he could have made in that game. And listen, I had to write this down. You guys were hot today. Lou Williams, 5 straight points. We got a 7-point leader. Well, this is what I'm saying about team defense. Lou Williams came in and scored 5 straight points. And the lead just evaporated. Trey wasn't even on the court. He was playing backup. So, I mean, it's those, you can't have those type of defensive lapses. Like you guys said, our rookies didn't look afraid. Obi gave us good minutes. Quickly gave us good minutes. A lot of effort on the defensive. And with all of that, we still lost by 2. So I'm sure they're going to make the adjustments, but this is the thing about the playoffs. You can't get a game back.
Yeah.
And if we wind up losing in 7 or losing in 6, we're going to point to this game.
Yeah, exactly. Big shout out to Skull TYA Catch 84. Said Hawks didn't play their best either. Truthful. Not the same team the Knicks swept. The Hawks had the worst coach in the NBA. The first 2 when Trey got hurt in the third. We will see. You have some points there. But look, this Knicks team has been faced with challenges all season long. All season long, the Knicks have been faced with challenges, and they've responded to those challenges all season long. All season. This is another challenge for them. Another challenge for them. All season long, they've been responding. Julius Randle's been responding. I think that they can respond. It's not going to be easy because the Hawks, they got a tough squad. They got a team that you got to deal with. But I do think that they can respond. We'll see if they can make the proper adjustments. And I agree with you, Steph. You need to have 2 or 3 different things in the bag so you can say, if he does, we try this first. If it don't work, we're going to this. I did that this weekend. We were playing a girl that was in the post, and she was tough. I said, okay, we're going to do this first. And if that don't work, then I'm going to try this. Then I'm going to try that. I had 3 things set up for her. First, I want to see, I got a girl that's 6'4" on the team. Can we defend this girl by herself? Then I said, if not, we're going to go into a 2-1-2, and we're going to double. We're going to leave one of their shooters and test and see if they can knock down the shots when they need to. And then the third one, we were going to go man and send a double team from another area of the floor. So I had some things set up on how I was going to deal with her. Yeah, you got to have a couple things in the bag. Mark, I see you wanted to respond to something.
Listen, that last half hour of this show took my friggin' Alpha Payne. Please let's not do that again because there was a non-factor to this game. It was a joke tonight to even talk about those 2. Okay? So number 2, there's another thing I don't like with our best player here. When he's having a bad game, right? Because this is how I view my players. When you're the best player on this team, right? Even if you're having a bad game offensively, I need you to do other things to help the team. And if you watch throughout the fourth quarter, Clyde said it. Randle does lazy things that hurts the team to an extent, and you could see it. He pouts. He's not moving without the. He has to move without the ball. Or you're gonna set harder screens. It's a lot of little stuff that he has to do if you're not offensively having a good night. Okay, it's like this. I could watch Steph Curry. He's one of the best ball screens I've ever seen from a small guy. If he's not having a good night, I watch him set screens. I watch him get his other teammates open to give them confidence. And if you watch that team all season long, your best player gives the worst player on your team the best confidence in the world. If y'all seen Jordan Poole play this season, he got confidence off the best player. So now we're in a playoff situation here. It's our first time here. And, everybody, it's our first time here. It's games like this that can make us get swept. This is the playoffs here. Okay? Sometimes one bad thing in one game, because we should have had this game. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about this game. We should have had it. We should have really had it. So games like this could be the reason why we lose the next game. Okay? It's just like with the Golden State against the Lakers. Golden State should have had that game. And when they came out and played Memphis, they lost because they should have won the other game. So we have to be very, very careful. So when I'm calling out these little things, it is important because they carry on to the next game. So if Julius Randle have another game like this, I need his motor to not. I don't need them to be in the corner, not moving. There was one play I did not like. When RJ was on the left-hand side and Randle came over, thought he was going to get the ball the whole time. And RJ telling him, yo, get out the way, get out the way, get out the way, so he can at least make a move. It's plays like that that irks me. He had a great season. There's nothing I can say about him. He had a great season all this year. But playoffs is about details. So when John Collins, literally, he should have bully balled him all night. John Collins can't guard a stick. John Collins cannot guard a stick. That's why dogs don't want to give him that money, because he cannot play a lick of defense. Two, this game was on Tibbs from an offensive standpoint. Playoffs is about mismatch. And if I got a 6-foot guard there and most of my guys play bully ball, I'm running a pick and roll situation where I have Trey Young every time, nonstop. It's the same thing they did, the same thing LeBron James does. Get the smallest guy on you and continue so you can create pressure. So it's not just the guy who has the ball. Whoever is on Trey Young, you bring that guy over there and you run that pick and roll. Run that pick and roll until your offense get better and better and better. This handoff stuff does not work unless the offense is elite, unless we have elite shooters. That do not work in a playoff settings. This two-man game, run RJ in his post sometimes with smaller guys on him. Get him going, because I thought they went away from it in the second half, especially after that dunk. You have to get these guys into the game, not out of it. Because if you watch a lot of the game, it was a lot of Derrick Rose, a lot of Burks, a lot of Randle. You cannot have that. Cannot have that. Because now defense can say, you know what? Make sure these three don't get what they get, and let we're gonna make sure we guard these three and let we're not even worry about the other two.
Right.
Playoffs by a 5-man game.
I got you. Listen, I'm gonna come to you, Isaiah. I want to hear Tom Thibodeau, then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna come to you. This is Tom Thibodeau and his thoughts on tonight's game, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a listen. This is Coach Tom Thibodeau.
Coach, early in this game, you guys did a terrific job keeping Trey from getting to the line. But then in the fourth quarter, Trey does what Trey does with 13 points out of his 32 late. Was there anything differently that you guys could have done defensively there?
Yeah, he's a great player. We'll take a look at the film. But you're not going to be able to stay with a steady diet of anything. So obviously we have to do a better job.
Brian Mahoney.
Tom, they did a much better job against Julius in the regular season. Did you see something specific that was the problem there?
No, they loaded up on him pretty good. So we anticipated that. But then we got to trust the pass. Just the game will tell you the play. And so if they put two on him, hit the open man, and it should be easy offense from there.
Steve Popper.
On that last play for Trey,
You brought in Frank. What did you think about what you saw there? Is there something else that should have happened?
Obviously you're putting Frank in for his defense, so but he made a good play, and we'll take a look at the film and we'll go from there.
Steph Bondi.
Hey Tom, you guys obviously fell in a little bit of a hole early, and the crowd was going crazy early. Do you think nerves were a factor at all in the beginning?
That usually the first game of a playoff series, and this is unusual. First time we have fans, so I think everyone's hyped up to start the game, and it was a hard fought game. There's a play, a loose ball that gets batted around that, Bogdanovich comes up with it and makes a three, and that's probably the difference in the game right there. So there's a lot that goes into it, and we got to make things go our way. But having fans I think is great, and we got to play better.
Ian Bagley.
Hey, Tom, just following up on Steve's question about Frank at the end. It looked like Taj came over at one point. Did you want Frank to take away Trey's right going into the play?
Well, we just want to get the ball stopped, and so it was sort of a broken play. But he's very good at changing direction. So, we'll take a look at it and see if we can come up with a better plan.
Mike Vaccaro.
Tom, did you sense that Julius was frustrated? And did you sense anything different about him tonight than you've seen most of the
No, I think he knew, going in that it would be like this. And so if he's getting double teamed like that, it's, he's dealt with it all season long. So just trust the pass. There may have been opportunities for him where he was too unselfish. I want to take a look at that as well.
Mark Berman.
Hey, Tom. A lot of talk about not putting Trey on the foul line. How do you feel you did in that department? And was there some questionable stuff maybe on that last minute?
Overall, I thought and again, I want to look at the film, but it was a pretty well officiated game from the standpoint of, there wasn't a lot of free throws for either team. I thought Derek got hit a few times and he didn't get the call, and so, but overall, I thought they did a good job.
Mike Borbanoff.
It looked like Trey gave you a lot of trouble in the pick and roll, and you guys had trouble defending him. What do you think he did right and you guys did wrong in the pick and roll specifically?
Well, he's a great player, and so you're going to look at a lot of pick and rolls throughout the course of the game. So some we defended well, some we didn't defend as well as we would have liked. But again, I don't want to comment until I take a look at the film.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Tom Thibodeau right there.
I'm here.
Clearly sounding disappointed. Wasn't going to give you too much, not giving you too much on any kind of adjustments he's going to do, or if he feels Julius was this or that. I kind of feel like Julius was a little bit shell-shocked, and I'm hoping that that's the extent of it tonight. It's that he was shell-shocked.
He was timid, and a lot of the plays where he got deep into the paint, he was timid. Like when you watch him, he's thinking. He's thinking.
Well. The thing is, part of that is like I'm saying, you got to go back and watch the game. It's this quasi double team that looks like a zone, and he's not exactly. See, when they come and they trap him aggressively, he's used to that. He knows exactly what to do. But when they have this quasi double team and they're not fully committing, but they're still there, I think he's a little gun shy and he's tentative. We'll see if he can make that adjustment. Isaiah?
First and foremost, I just wanted to say, Welcome back, Mark. That was beautiful, my brother.
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you, Isaiah. I've been watching the show when I got a chance. You've been horrible. Boy, yeah, you've been sounding like Max Kellerman. I be having to mute you. Honest truth, bro. Because some of your takes are just god awful. I'm just being honest.
Well, Mark, we can't mute you because you're never here.
I'm just being honest, bro.
I feel this. I'll try to give you a compliment.
I be feeling bad for Sin because it's like he be battling within his own head not to mute you, but Jesus Christ.
That Laker game was epic, man.
I don't want to talk about that Lakers game, man. It's all right.
I got honesty tonight in this chat. I'm back.
Oh, yeah. I mean, hey, listen, man. It's all right. I get Guillermo here next, and the whole crew be back. But I will say this, though. I truly do agree with what Mark said about a lot of things with Julius Randle tonight. What really hurt Sin, besides, we can get off the Peyton and Frank thing, what really hurt was at the end of that third quarter when we had the momentum, we had the lead, and Julius Randle did that boneheaded, like, across the court pass, picked off, Lou Will hit a three, and but we could have been up by 8 or something, but we ended up being only up by 2. And to me, that was really a killer, man. I wasn't even worried about the shot tonight, Sim, because I'm not going to lie. I kind of figured it was going to be either RJ or Randle that was going to have the jitters and have a bad shooting night, and lucky for us, it was both. So, but I'm not really. Again, it's not. To me, it wasn't the shooting that was upsetting me about Randle. It was to me the decision making. At the end of towards the end of the game, it was just a lot of just those 2 straight possessions were turnovers or bad plays. That really killed us. But it will be better. I really do believe. Julius Randle this whole season has come back from when he had these bad games and everybody worried and everybody's like, oh, we can't pay him now. Then he has a game where we're like, yeah, we're gonna give him like $100 million and 5, whatever. But it's gonna be this series is gonna be about a lot of adjusting and a lot of it's gonna be chess, no checkers, man, and we're gonna have to steal one of these games, son.
No doubt about it. We got to. We want to win it. They stole home court. Now. They came in and they ran away with home court. So, even if we win the next game, they came in and ran away with home court. That means we gotta go and get one in Atlanta. Or 2, but we gotta get 1.
And I will say this too, Sam.
We'll start with 1. Start with the next game.
I was nervous about the rebounding, but that today wasn't bad.
No,
and I'm actually proud of positive. A few positives I take away was that the rookies played great as far as you can expect them to. The rebounding was there. Again, we just got to work on our rotations. This isn't the first game, Sim, that Bogdanovich. Yeah, whatever his name is, the B guy. This isn't the first game where he's been open in the corner. I mean, again, we could go back to that game where Trey Young got injured. He's the reason why the game was tied. That it sent it to overtime, and he hit 2 big shots. I'm not gonna lie, that corner one I was mad at because again there was nobody there. The other one, I mean, that's just skills. The one he had against RJ, where they went back and forth a little bit. He got RJ back for that poster. So we're gonna have to do better on these corner threes, Sam, because again, that to me killed us today. And that other one where Trey Young did the behind the back pass, and it was so slow, and the dude I knew that thing was gonna go in. That DeAndre, when he did the back pass, DeAndre Hunter.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I knew it was gonna go in. It was so slow, and it pissed me off because I'm like, can somebody go over there to contest it? But
yeah, and part of the reason why these corner threes are open is because of the screen and roll, sucking in the defense. Everyone's trying to stop this screen and roll, and Trey Young has really, really good court vision. Really good court vision.
One thing, that little defense scheme that Tim runs where he's loading up on the left, he cannot do that against this Hawks team. He cannot do that. He only can do that with teams that don't have great shooters. He cannot do that against this Hawks team.
Yeah.
They score at will.
Yeah. Listen, we're going to see what they do. Tomorrow I'm going to be on a shoot around, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to break down, just a few clips from this game and some things that I seen, especially focused around Julius Randle and what I think we need to do with Julius Randle. And, of course, we'll look at some things with Trey Young and how we can possibly stop Trey Young, or not stop him, but make it tough, or make him have to make some decisions that can hopefully lead us to a victory. I want to go around and ask everybody. I'm going to start with Savvy, because I haven't heard of Savvy for a minute. Guess he's just been enjoying the fireworks. You know what I mean? It's 4th of July out this jump. I'm going to start with you, Savvy.
Yo, what's good, fam?
Is Wednesday's game a must win?
I want to say absolutely. Absolutely, because I would not like to be down 2-0 to a team that we match up so combatively against. You know, even though we beat them every time we match up against them in the season. And that gives me faith that we can steal a game from them. What we don't want to do is take them for granted, right? I heard a couple of things tonight that showed me that, yeah, we're taking accountability for the loss, but sometimes we're saying things that don't really account for the talent on the other team. I think we need to take it absolutely seriously. I think that our players need to take it absolutely seriously. I think that's a good sign about the rookies' performance tonight. And I don't think the problems tonight will persist. I think we'll adjust and we'll be able to get back out there for game 2 and do what we normally do and beat them again. I want to just point out one thing. We beat them the last 3 times we played them, and we lost this one. If we beat them this time, we would have been on a serious streak of beating them in our matchups historically. So I feel like we might have been due for a loss against them. Might have just happened to land on our first playoff game against them. But I think we can win this series, absolutely. I don't think it's going to be that far-fetched.
Okay. AD, must win?
I'm not gonna say must win. I'm not gonna put that dire thing out there, because it's just gonna fan the flames for more gibberish, and I don't want to do that. And I want to, you know what I'm saying? And I know I came on, I came for Kev and Zeke and so forth. So I know y'all my brothers, and it ain't never personal. But what I want to say is that it's from coach to star player. It's got to be able to relate this message to Julius, like, dude, we don't need you to win the entire game. We need you to do your part, my brother. You know what I'm saying? And not beat us, not be clumsy with the ball in times that we think, well, the game is not in the balance, because everything adds up. You understand what I'm saying? And there was a moment where I saw with Julius where he took a shot and it looked like he could have got his own rebound, and he just kind of loafed it off. And then when they called timeout, then when he called timeout, he went and sat on the bench and he zipped up his hoodie, and I'm like, dude, this is not the time for that. You understand what I'm saying? So you need the coach to kind of reiterate this message to him, like, we're not gonna go as far as you go. We're gonna go as far as we go.
Yeah.
So play the team game. And when you see that double, don't be confused by it. Either pass or shoot. Don't fumble around with it. You look, you know what I'm saying? You look crazy in those moments. So, Knick fans, Knick universe, we got this. We all right. I'm not gonna say it's dire, but we want this win.
Yeah. Okay. Isaiah?
Man, Sam, I'm not gonna lie. This feels like 2018 right now. I got my brother Guillermo. I got Mark in the building. Savvy. Man, this is real dope. I like this right now tonight, man. And shout out to the entertainer talking sports too. That's my brother, White Chocolate. You know the vibes. Sim, this is no question. If we go 0-2, it's gonna be 1-2-3 Cancun. This is a must win. There's no other choice. We have to win, Sim. We can't go 0-2 and then go to Atlanta. For a young Knicks team that doesn't have a lot of player experience, we go 0-2. I'm gonna say a lot of these kids probably gonna the energy's gonna change completely. You have to win this game. There's no other choice. We can't go 0-2. We can't go to Atlanta going 0-2. There's no choice. We have to win. Randle can't go 6 for 26. We can't lose. No, we can't lose.
Steph?
Yeah, I think if we lose game 2, it's gonna be it's gonna be tough for us. The percentage of winning the series drops considerably, of course. I'm not gonna say we can't do it, but it's gonna be really tough. And I think the key for game 2 is the adjustments that I would have liked to have seen in the fourth quarter. You know, is Randle gonna be playing more down in the post? What are we gonna do with Trey Young? And a lot of people talk about that pick and roll. They didn't even need the pick and roll. He was able, I mean, they did play it some. They didn't even need it. He was able to get past Rose or whoever he was playing. So it's not going to be a one-person adjustment when it comes to Trey Young. We're going to have to figure out as a team, how are we going to guard him? And like I said before, something that I thought would have been in the works already.
Yeah. Mark?
Oh, can I say one last thing,
Oh, yeah.
Sam?
Yep.
Even if we don't start Peyton, I don't even want to mention Frank because I don't want to bring it up again. But Peyton only played 8 minutes. He only played 8 minutes. If you want to have Frank on Trey, you want to have him on Trey for more than 8 minutes. If you think that he can shut him down, which I don't agree, but even if you think that's the case, you're gonna want him to be on Trey more than 8 minutes. Who are you taking those minutes from? Right? Because 8 minutes on Trey Young is not going to do the job. So you're going to have to take more minutes from Rose, Burke, any of those backcourt players, and I don't really see that happening.
But Steph, though, it's not about Frank getting 8 minutes and D Rose not playing or Burke's not playing. You can still play those guys. You can still play.
No. I know, but it's going to be less minutes.
The Hawks,
that's what I'm saying.
The Hawks are not a real big team. Honestly, they're really not a big team. So you can play Burks, Frank, and D Rose at the same time.
No, I get it. What I'm saying overall, if you give him more than Peyton's minutes, you're taking those minutes from somebody else. Those other players are playing less minutes. And if you're okay with that, that's okay. But I'm just bringing up overwork.
But you don't also want to overwork D Rose again, right? Because you want D Rose to have efficient minutes. You don't want D Rose to play 40 minutes, 40 plus minutes, 35, 36 minutes, and he's tired of it. Because to me, the objective of D Rose is for him to end the game. He needs to be there in the fourth quarter. That should be one of the main missions of if you're gonna be starting, and you know how the Knicks team is. Your role is to make sure that D Rose is as fresh as possible in the fourth quarter so he can finish the game for us.
So you're saying take some of Rose minutes and give it to Frank?
I would be perfectly fine with that because I believe Frank can handle the defensive assignments for that and still have the ball moving around. And again, don't forget, Frank can hit those shots. He hit over 40% on threes this season. Again, it's not the biggest clip, but he did do it. Again, we want D Rose to be there in the fourth quarter. That's the most important quarter, and we need him there so that he can finish these games and that he's not tired. Because again, he's spending a lot of energy chasing Trey Young around, even though he's not doing the best job. But he's still chasing Trey Young around. He's still trying to get over these screens and still produce on offense. So again, we need him fresh.
I agree with that.
That's my whole thing.
I would like Rose to have less minutes, but I just don't think we have anybody in there that could play as well as him on the offensive end, because it's when you take in Rose minutes, it's not just about you being able to hit a three. Rose does much more for that. He gets in the key. He has puts a lot of pressure on the defense in terms of getting in the key with the floater, getting in the key, locating people. So if you're going to give those minutes to Frank, it changes how our offense looks, because Frank needs somebody to create for him, and that takes away a creator for the rest of the team. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I'm just saying if you make one move, it just changes other.
Yeah, because you want Frank in there with Derrick Rose, in my opinion. You don't want him in there with Quickly. I don't, because not anything wrong with Quickly. I don't think he's going to be creating for Frank when you're talking about the offensive side of the floor. If you're talking about the offensive side of the floor, I think, Derrick Rose is going to help to create, or Alec Burks as well. Alec Burks too.
Burke ain't creating for
Right.
nobody,
Okay,
son.
He's not creating for anybody else, but he can draw some attention. He can draw some attention, which could hopefully have Frank open. The one thing, and I want to get to Mark, when Derrick Rose is in the game, all of his minutes are not with Trey Young in the game. Right? When Derrick Rose got in the game tonight, he came in like 7 minutes in the first quarter, about 7 minutes. I think Trey Young probably went out maybe 2 or 3 minutes after that, and then you had the bench guys come in, and then Trey Young came in, later on in the second quarter, about the second half of the second quarter. He's not.
Also, something real quick. But also, to me, it would be smart because again, right, like what Mark was saying earlier is that, I forgot whoever said, I think it was Mark, that you want to get Trey Young, like you want D Rose to go against Trey, make him work. Because to me tonight, I really don't feel like he really worked tonight on the defensive end. Because again, the Atlanta Hawks are not like Mark said. The Atlanta Hawks are really not a good defensive team.
Right.
They're really not good.
But see, you got to make a decision though. You got to make a decision, because if you're saying that you need Derrick Rose to make Trey Young work, but then you're saying you want Frank Ntilikina to take some of Derrick Rose's minutes to save Derrick Rose, then Frank Ntilikina is not going to be making.
But you can still kind of balance that out. Something you can probably give up.
But anyway,
whoever the ball handler that's handling the ball and that's on offense, you put Trey Young in that pick and roll situation.
There you go.
So whoever's the offensive play, they get him in that situation because of his size.
And listen, if you do, and I really do agree. If you take R.J. Barrett, you seen R.J. Barrett had Trey Young on him today, took him right down into the post. If you create a pick and roll situation where R.J. Barrett, where they switch and Trey Young is on R.J. Barrett, and then you let R.J. Barrett go to work, I think you can do that very easily. Mark, must win.
It's a must win because it's our first time here, and I want to win. Like. It's not like I want to win.
Right.
Listen.
But is it a must win as far as the Knicks winning this series?
Yeah, because now you give Trey Young has confidence. A lot of people just don't understand that. He has a lot of confidence. And when you let him go like that, you don't want that to linger into him going back home, especially when he had the guard. Tonight was supposed to be our win just off the base of that crowd. And Sim, Obi, this should have been an Obi game. I should have seen 20 minutes on his dock because the game looked more fluent with him. He could have been an offensive threat for us because he can shoot it and he can make little subtle plays to help everyone else on the court. I don't think Tibbs know how to using that. I would have used that kid in pick and roll so many times because he could just jump over whoever he gets in a pick and roll situation. And Noel, Sim, do that 3 rebounds and Capella destroyed him. Wow. If Capella keep doing that,
are you psyched about that? Are you psyched about that, Mark? Are you psyched about Noel getting killed by Capella? That's not shocking.
That's why I was kind of mad when Mitch got hurt because even though we had a great season without him, but when it comes to him on the perimeter, he does things a lot better than what Taj and what
we're missing Mitch. We're missing Mitch bad.
And what Noel does. What he does, he makes Trey Young think when he's coming off the pick and roll because Trey Young got to look behind him. Trey Young was just going. He was just going tonight. So Mitch boxed out. Noel wasn't boxing out tonight. He got destroyed on like every box out. So if we're not going to rebound as a team, as a committee, we're going to lose that game because they had a lot of second chance points in this game. Get RJ more, get him going more in the post, in a mismatch situation or in a pick and roll situation with the smallest player. And Sim, again, where I blame Tibbs on this, on those possessions with Trey Young on the ball, I'd rather you just blitz the hell out of him because he does not do well in blitz situations. Mm-hmm. He does not do well. You can go back to any games when a team blitz him, he gets very flustered and he's small. And if you're aggressive with him, you can take him out of action because if you looked at the game it was only him and Bogdanovich that was hot. So I'd rather you blitz him to a point where you let anybody else anybody else, but Luell wasn't on the floor in the fourth quarter. So in that case, you could have blitzed Trey Young and allowed the other guys to make decisions, because Trey Young's make decisions for a lot of the guys that's on the floor besides Bogdanovich. Now, if you'd have blitzed him and the Bogdanovich, you live with that. But if you're gonna let Trey Young keep constantly doing this, we're going to lose, because he is the engine that runs this team the way it ran tonight. Okay. And Sim, glad to be back, right? And this is for the chat, and I'm dead serious about this, because I don't like the I'll watch everything, okay? And I pay attention. If y'all want me on the show, if I don't see an amount of likes that Sim deserves, not need, that he deserves, I won't be back on this panel. So if the lights ain't up when you come in, don't look for me, because this is unfair. The man entertains you guys 3 times out of the week. Free television, you got other people paying. Okay? So like it.
Appreciate you, bro.
Just like it, man. He shouldn't even be asking. I'm gonna be the one to say the Sim is all cool, but I don't care. Like the damn show. It don't cost you. He ain't Patreon you to death. He ain't doing none of that. Just support the man where the likes need to be needed. I get really disgusted when the guys in this community really put in work for the entertainment, because people going through things, and I know y'all need relief. But the man, he's a busy man, and he comes on here supporting, putting out a content that no one else in this community would have done if he wasn't here. Okay, this is a fact. I appreciate
you, bro.
So give the Godfather what he deserves, not what he needs, what he deserves.
I appreciate you, my man. I appreciate you.
Jesus Christ.
E-Rule.
All facts.
E-Rule. Must win.
All facts, no printer. Yeah, I don't think it's a must win. Stranger things that happen in the playoffs. Teams have gone, 0-2 and then win the next 4 games. This happened before. The Bulls did that to the Knicks back in the day. So, I'm not really worried.
Bro, they have Michael Jordan.
That's all imagination. I'm trying not to get all crazy and loud and emotional and stuff like that, because that's all imagination stuff. We got to deal with what we have as a team and who we're playing against at this current time.
Hold on, let him go. Let him finish.
Yo, this is the most upset I've seen Die Hard all season, honestly.
Well, I'm just a little like we had game. This is game 73. You know what I'm saying? This is not game 10. This is not something that just happened. We just ran through 72 games and we just win 1 extra game. So why are we talking about if we did this and we do that? We just ran through 72 games. You know what I'm saying? So why are we going to reinvent the wheel at the 73rd game? You know what I'm saying? And I get what you're saying about the Michael Jordan thing. That might be funny to you, but I don't think it's funny, man. This is we're playing against the Atlanta Hawks. We have a series to play. It's a 7-game series. We can lose 3 straight and then win 4 straight. It's possible. It doesn't matter if they got Michael Jordan on the other team. You know what I'm saying? This is the team that we have. We have to get back to the drawing board, of course. The answer is not to bring Frank Ntilikina in and put him in there to shadow Trey Young. That's not the answer. You know what I'm saying? The answer is not to take Elfrid Payton out the game. The answer is to do what we've been doing for the 72 games that we played before this game. I understand the playoffs is different, but basketball is basketball. You know what I'm saying? We need to get back to the basics, do what we've been doing to get to this point, and that's what it is.
But Die Hard, though. But hold on. But Die Hard, I understand what you're saying about doing what got you here, but like you just said, the playoffs are different. Like this is the best example. We 3-0'd the Hawks. Our first game in the playoffs, we lost to the Hawks. So
I think Savvy was the one that said that we beat them 3 straight. So we probably was due to lose to them at least once. It's just probability. You know what I'm saying? But we still got 4 more wins to get. You know what I'm saying? So we can win 4 straight and beat them 5-1. Then what?
Die Hard, we don't have proof of that happening. So when I say
we don't have proof of them losing 4 straight either, though.
Hold on.
We just lost Die Hard.
But we don't have proof. We don't have proof that we're going to get swept.
Let me get the G-Mo.
Do you have proof? Do you have proof that we're going to get swept?
Let me get the G-Mo, because the one thing I will say is we a lot of us are acting like we lost by 20. A lot of us are acting like we lost by 20, and we didn't. You know, the series is still here for us. You know what I mean? And we still did some things, some good. I mean, we've played a lot of games that were just like this in a regular season, where Randle didn't play well, you had somebody else play well, and we lost them, and then come back and play another team and win, and we respond. Let's see if we respond. Right? We got a chance to respond. Let's see if Randle responds. Let's see if the team responds. Let's see if we make adjustments. It's all about what we do going into the next game.
Yeah, man. Like all I'm saying.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a little low, bro.
Well, I'm sorry about that. Salute to all you guys, man. God bless. Know that, man. Fun game, man. Exciting game. Here's what I say, man. A few things. You know, when you're in the playoffs, like people blaming Frank, I'm not blaming Frank. The guy came in cold. You know, you can't kill him for how Tibbs deployed him. You know, we got to stop kind of putting it like on these like pinpoint, just like these one plays and saying if it was this one play, it's like, come on, man, Frank. He was gonna get murdered out there. You know, even where he kind of led Trey it just wasn't gonna go good. But let's not kill Frank. The person who you could say you get more angry at, and to kind of but go against Errol's point is that, look, the person with the most playoff experience, the highest level, is Tom Thibodeau. You know what I mean? When you get to the playoffs, you know, you elevate your level of play. For instance, you know, the way we played Trey Young, and by the way, the Atlanta Hawks had 59 pick and rolls tonight to the Knicks 50. So to say the pick and roll was not effective, that's not true. The pick and roll was deadly. They were running double screens.
They didn't need it.
Nah, they need it because they set. I'm watching the game right now. They literally outside the one transition play, I'm watching the first few minutes of the game. Trey Young ran about like 4 pick and roll plays to open up the offense on his. He had 17 in the fourth quarter, which is the most out of any quarter. So again, the way we attacked the pick and roll was just not. It was not like. Look at how when we talk about elevating the level of play, right? Look at how Dylan Brooks played Curry. They denied Curry the ball. And granted, Curry still had 30-something, but Dylan Brooks, the way he impacted the game, like Curry could not breathe, especially in that second half, could not breathe against Dylan Brooks. I said many times, look, if you're going to put Frank Ntilikina in, and the thing about Tom too, that gets me mad sometimes is like he has the answers. He's done it before. You want to shut down Trey Young, you either have to show the hard double team or the hedge, or you ice the pick and roll and force Trey one way, so you're not at the top of the key guessing where he's going to go. Cut off his routes. It's like it's the reverse Revis, right? If Trey Young is that, you force him one way and you make sure your defense can help reset or whatever it may be. And we did not do that tonight. If you want to put Frank in, make sure you ice the pick and roll. Too many times Trey Young is getting that. We play way too much drop coverage where, again, Taj knows as well as in no man's land, waiting for the point guard to recover, and Rose and Peyton never get there. You know what I mean? So when we're talking about, look, the second game, could it go either way? To Errol's point, yeah, it could go either way. Anything can happen. But if Trey Young and this team kills us the same way with the pick and roll, dribble, drive, penetration, kick out, and they get that humming, and we don't find a way to stop that. Look, Nate McMillan loves his point guards. When he's in Seattle, it was Gary Payton. That was his guy the first time he went to the playoffs. When they were with the Blazers, it was Brandon Roy. And what happened when Brandon Roy wasn't healthy? The Blazers couldn't get past the first round. They couldn't get past the first round either way. Pacers really only shined when he had your boy Oladipo that first year. After that, they never saw that same set. And they kept losing the first round of playoffs. That tells me, look, you shut down Trey Young, you ice the pick and roll, you disrupt him, you make him work on defense too. RJ Barrett had way too many times in the fourth quarter, at least the second half. You feed it to RJ Barrett, you let him feast on Trey Young. Like Mark said, do it with LeBron James. You know who else did this too? Paul Pierce. This is high-level coaching. You make sure, look, if the guy's in foul trouble or the guy's a weak link, you make sure your more effective players who could slash to the basket, can create fouls, are attacking that player time and every time. Again, do not let up. Force it until now they send double teams. Someone's coming through the basket. Someone's open on the other wing or the other corner. You know what I mean? So everybody wants to blame this play. Look, Julius Randle, I look at this as experience with Julius Randle. I know it sucks that we lost, but hey, Julius Randle was 6 for 24. He made some bad decisions out there. He had times where he had Gallinari. He should have drove. The first time he drove Gallinari could not stay in front of him. Foul. And I'm like, Randle, abuse Gallinari each and every time. And agree. I said, he was too much. Amoeba defenses do confuse Randle. But this is the best case. Look, if Gallo can't stay in front of you, get him out. Get him out the game, force fouls, and then, all right, you have a better defender than you. You could get into the paint once the double team, whatever comes, helps, and you kick it out. You know what I mean? But Juice right now he's getting as much experience as possible. So I don't kill him. Hopefully he learns from this. He could, get this in his mental. But I don't say mad, but a lot of this is on Tom Thibodeau. He's shown adjustments last game in the third game against the Hawks. Granted, Trey Young came out the game, but it's up to Tom Thibodeau, man. Like, he's a guy with the most playoff experience. He is the brainchild or the brain, whatever you want, brain trust, whatever you want to call this team. I expect a lot more from him, but we'll see in the second game.
Gambo, I told him he can't do a lot of that loading on the left on one side on defense that he does. It does not work a lot. He gets burnt like that, especially against a 3-point team.
Yeah, and see, this is the thing. This is the thing, right? This happens in the playoffs. You lose basketball games. You have to respond. Right, so like Gambo said, let's see what's going on let's see what happens in the next game, because we keep saying this isn't working. This is just one basketball game, one playoff game. We got to see what happens in the next playoff game, because with whatever happened in this basketball game, we had a chance to close this basketball game, and we did not. With Julius Randle not playing well, we had a chance to close this game and win it. With everything that went wrong, right? So we have to. Tom Thibodeau's a high-level coach. Let's see him make the adjustments, because that's what basketball play. That's what the playoff basketball is about. Making those adjustments game to game.
Can I just say one thing really quickly? Like, fortune favors a bold, right? If you look at Trey Young, right, when we talk about the pick and roll and being aggressive with it, I'm not saying do it every time, but Trey Young is only shooting like 30. He's shooting 37.5% when he splits the pick and roll once the double team comes from that, right? 37.5%, which is not good on the floor, right? So again, Tom Thibodeau needs to show another look. And when he was aggressive in that third game. Like, sometimes Tom Thibodeau, what he does, we talk about in the Denver game, is like, he almost sometimes second guesses himself, right? When we played against Jokic, granted, Jokic is Jokic. He's MVP Jokic. He's whatever, right? But we didn't send him really any double teams. We didn't make him work for it. It's kind of like we played back and said, all right, we're going to play this bend, don't break defense. And he burnt us. Trey Young, look, the guy's a little bit smaller. He thinks he's Curry. He ain't. You know what I mean? Try to attack the guy, show him different looks. Today, put like this. Last game, you can say whatever you want about Nate McMillan. He adjusted to us. He was throwing double screens at us. I didn't see that many double screens that third game against us. So if Nate McMillan's elevating his play, we have to find to elevate our play. And again, I know Randle has to have better execution of that stuff. But also, Elfrid Payton. Look. Elfrid Payton. This is why, if I was a coach, I'd be like, yo, bro.
Let him talk.
I'll be like, yo, bro, you're not going to be here next year. You don't have a future with the Knicks, but you should be thinking about your future in the NBA. You sopping around, you playing confused, F all that. You may not score in the game, but I need you to be a dog out there. And I'm going to make you look how, and now it's have to be Tom Thibodeau too. Every Trey Young should not be able to breathe. I don't give a damn. Force him to one side. I don't care. I need to see Dylan Brooks from your boy. Look, Steph Curry had 37 points against the freaking Grizzlies. But Dylan Brooks, he was 6 for 17, 0.89, 8 points per possession. Versus everybody else, 1.15 points per possession. So Dylan Brooks was an answer. You can slow down a giant. And I need to see that from Elfrid Payton. I can't keep him moping around. I don't take him out early in this game. But come on, bro.
But listen. All right. Just about this whole game, like, we talk about Dylan Brooks, and that was one game. You didn't get a chance to see what would happen in the next game and how the adjustments would be made. They did it one game, right? So you don't get a chance to see the adjustments. And this happens in the NBA. This is what playoff basketball is about. And it is the reason why you have a coach like Tom Thibodeau. The Portland Trail Blazers beat Denver in Denver last night. Right now, the Utah Jazz are losing to the Memphis Grizzlies 104-98 with 2 minutes and 37 seconds left. Okay? This happens in playoff basketball. This is what happens. And it's up to, this is the reason why it is a 7-game series. And we have to let the coaches make some adjustments. Figure out how to win the series. And see if it happens. So when we say this ain't working, I'm just going to say, if Julius Randle has a Julius Randle game, make some of his mid-range jump shots. And yes, I do agree that he needs to go down into the post. He needs to play a different game. I'm not saying that. But if he makes some of those shots, possibly we win the game. Right? Even though all of these other things went on, we had a chance to close this game out and win it. You know what I mean? So, there's a long series left to go. I do believe the next game is a must win for the simple fact that we're a young playoff team, and I don't know if, being down 2-0, if we, will have it in us to bring it back. Being down, one game, I believe we can go get another win and feel confident that we can go get one in Atlanta. But going down 2-0, I think it might be tough. Really tough for us. But we still got a chance to pull this series out. What didn't work this game could work the next game. And what worked for them this game may not work the next game. We're just going to have to wait and see. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to head up out of here. Tomorrow, I will be on the shoot around. We can break down some film and, try to be easy. Try to be easy, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? Because, there's still a lot of basketball left to be played. The first time this particular team, with the leaders that we have in this game, on this team, are in the playoffs, you might get a hiccup when you got that kind of a team. So let's see what happens. Let's see if they rebound. They've been doing it all year. They've been rebounding all year. Every time we lose a basketball game or went on a losing streak, everything that we said tonight, I can guarantee you, if you go back and look, every single thing we said tonight, we need Mitch back. We need to do this. We need to do that. This ain't working. That ain't working. Julius Randle can't get it done. Da-da-da-da-da. Every single time, this team responded and they rebounded. You can't say anything different because they did. As a matter of fact, they ended the season 10 games above 500. More games than they did, more games above 500 than they did all season long. On the last win over the Boston Celtics. They've been able to rebound and respond. Let's give them a chance to rebound and respond and prove us all wrong again, that they can pull this thing out. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out of here. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Be peaceful, ladies and gentlemen. Spread love and all that good stuff. I'm out. Wednesday.